Okay, and come back over here and paste that there. That should be it. Oh wait, no, that just what? Damn it!
That's all right. I got the link anyway.
I think it just took you to that thread, didn't it?
Yeah. No, it's okay. It worked.
It's the one at the very bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, season 1 recap. That one is probably a good place to start there because like, especially for the recording, it'll just kind of go real quick through like the whole first season, and then we can start getting into like the other one, which is more opinion based.
The 100 is a
All right.
What were we talking about?
You weren't listening? God damn.
I
We're
was-
talking about art.
I'm back.
We're talking about art. What makes
Art.
good rat?
We're talking about art.
This is some good rat.
Bart.
Art.
Bart Simpson.
We are talking about art, human. Oh,
Human art.
Looks like
humans'
meat
art.
back on the menu, boys.
Art is.
It's like human intercourse.
Oh, no.
Where did that come from?
There was an IFAB that
Yeah, the
was
Starship
taking,
Troopers.
yeah, the
Art
Star Trek.
is human
Yes, it
intercourse.
was. They were covering a guy that is referred as sex as human intercourse.
Mhm.
Damn,
Yes,
it's big brain.
Well,
big intercourse.
well,
Yeah,
are
tell me when
you
we're recording?
oh, I already started.
Wait, how long have you started? How long have you started?
Oh,
Doesn't matter.
you'll
Since you
find
said
out.
the N word.
You'll
Oh,
find out. You'll find out.
Did you catch me just humming in the mic this entire time?
Probably.
It's fine.
Editor, put that in, and then put someone bonking Victor's
So
avatar.
what I'm gonna do is I'm not gonna edit this. I'm gonna send this to you, Oliver, if you because I think you wanted it for video purposes. Or
Yeah,
something.
pretty much.
So I'll let you do whatever you want, but fortunately all of the audio is going to be split into separate channels. So that makes it easier.
Okay then.
Oh my gosh, Victor, you're so cool and awesome for doing that. Yay! So good. Yay!
All right, quiet down. The lion sleeps tonight, remember?
Oh damn it.
All right.
That's why I'm gonna be. Hey, you're the guy who sang, right? Yeah. That's what I'm gonna be known for.
There you go. Okay.
That's my thing.
Take it away, Oliver.
Alrighty then. So we started on a neat little journey. What is it, about a month ago? And it has been quite a journey indeed. We decided to watch the 100.
Yay!
Hey.
Yeah.
I was laughing on the inside.
I mean, yay! Yeah, I loved it. Yay! It's awesome.
Please clap.
Yay!
I laughed.
Anyways, why don't we start things off with maybe just like a quick blurb of what you thought of season 1.
Oh.
Who wants to go first?
I can go
Oh, boy.
first.
Okay.
Yeah,
let's go left to right.
Left.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a really neat premise, broke down by a really bad teen drama and really bad decisions on all the characters, especially the adult ones. And well, a lot of things happen because they need to advance the plot, and none of them are because of anything else on the show. They happen because they want to happen. There's no shred of cause and effect, and you can poke holes everywhere in the show. And that's my blurb.
How do I summarize my thoughts on this? I just kind of walked away thinking like, who is this made for? You know, like it's the plot is bad, the acting's bad, the writing is bad. There's some cool cinematic shots like in 1 or 2 episodes. The premise is okay. but it's kind of wasted on a show like this. The pacing's pretty breakneck, and like Gothic said, there's not really any cause. Not really any like really deep cause and effect. It's just, uh, it's, uh, I'm struggling because it's so much happens, and I'm trying to like get my thoughts all together.
Well, make a generalization for now.
Yeah,
Um,
quick thoughts. I mean,
the This is the Rise of Skywalker of TV shows.
Whoa,
Oh
that's
my
a really
God.
good summary. That's a really competent summary.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was gonna
yeah. I mean, everyone will know what you mean by that.
yeah, I'm like it's so fast. You can't think of anything because things just happen. Because we can't let the characters breathe at all. It's yeah, just not the Last Jedi. That would be beneficial to this. Um, yeah, Rise of Skywalker of TV shows, the 100, and that's my thoughts.
Alrighty then. I guess that means I'm next, and I've probably got the controversial point here. So I am very much mixed in my opinion on this show. Subjectively, I still like it. I think it's a lot of fun kind of going through it and everything else like that. A lot of premise ideas I really like, and a lot of things like a lot is mostly the ideas that I really appreciate, and like I could see what they were trying to do. But then, like, that's where the other half of this comes in. Objectively, this is a terrible show. There's so much wrong with it. It's going at a breakneck pace. The characters are extremely inconsistent. There's terrible setups with, I would say, that lead to decent payoffs at best. Um, yeah. So yeah, looking at this objectively, I put this somewhere between a 3 and a 4, but subjectively, I still enjoy watching it.
All right. Well, I have to say my thoughts have been well covered by all of you fine gentlemen, but I'll give them anyway. I was pretty optimistic about this premise because I'm a pretty big fan of sci-fi, and I
Yeah.
tend to almost always give any sci-fi show a fair shake, despite how ridiculous it might sound. And even though this show, the premise includes sending teenagers down to the planet instead of qualified experts, I thought, yeah, what the heck, it could be fun. Um, so my expectations were subverted, but not in a good way. Really, I really was. I thought I was going to appreciate the show more because there wasn't an overt political message. There wasn't any overt calls to social justice or any kind of agenda. Instead, it just appeals to what I see as a bratty teenager viewership, and anyone who likes low hanging fruit masquerading as drama. And I just felt like a lot of what was keeping me going while watching this was hoping it was going to change and evolve. But it also, I think it was trying to do that, but it happened way too quickly. And nothing really about the characters changed, despite what is going on in each episode. You're like, oh, they're making different decisions. But then their characters kind of just get reset to whatever the plot needs them to be. And, well, I just hope that in some of the coverage that we discuss, that somebody brings up how inconsistent the characters are. But I suppose that'll be for the discussion later.
By the
Indeed.
way, can I intercept with a thing? Hearing
Mm,
you talk about the show, I can say at least one tiny bit good thing about the show. It's not only that they don't include politics or real world politics. When they include moral questions, they tend to show both sides of the issue, even if the way they show it is really bad. They at least try to do it.
Yeah.
And every moral question, they see both sides. Even the I will bring everything to a cosmic Adam and Eve, even that side in a bad way,
I will
but
bring.
but at least they show the both things, and I like that.
I will bring this and the human race to a cosmic Adam and Eve. And he does a Nazi salute, and then he gasses a billion people,
And then everyone clapped.
It's not quite that
and then
bad,
everyone
okay.
clapped. I just realized he does that. They literally do Oh my gosh. Holy shit! If there's an allegory for anyone here, damn.
They ungassed the people.
They ungas people, so it's different enough. But oh no, oh no, oh dear.
Alrighty then. Well, that's definitely a nice way to start, and thanks for throwing me under the bus there, Victor, for the low hanging fruit.
Oh. Well,
Yes, that is.
I promise it's not a condemnation of you, more so just the show.
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's
It
fun.
was meant to be a joke, but yeah.
It's a fun show. Despite my criticism, I agree, Oliver. Subjectively, I love this show. This show is awesome. This isn't me joking. This is I love this show is awesome. But
Some may say it's similar
but
to
how much fun I
Batwoman.
had.
I think I
We-
had a
we
lot
had
of fun.
fun.
I had a lot of fun
Yes.
watching it. I'll say that.
We had
Yes.
fun, yes, but I think 90% of the fun it was watching it with you and tearing it apart.
I would say it's an 80-20 split because there are some things in the show
Yes.
that I
Well,
genuinely
yeah.
enjoyed. There's
Yeah,
some
and I
things
think we
that
agreed that the
Jasper.
latter half was better than the first half by far.
Oh my gosh. It's like episode 1 and then it like goes up a little bit, then all the way downhill, and then like right at the end, like the last like
At least
2.5 episodes, it's like wah.
Come on,
At
guys.
least
little
it
up,
had
a little
us
up.
cheering for some characters, not
Some
the,
Also, I
the
think I
right
figured out
characters,
why.
but some characters.
Beautiful.
Also, I think I figured out why those like last 3 or 4 episodes seem to be the strongest. If you put it into a timeline, they happen within like 3 or 4 days.
Oh my
Mm,
god.
And then, yeah,
Well,
they
that's what
happen
I
unrelated to
I
each
think
other.
I think that's worth exploring.
yeah.
Do you
The
want to do
entire
that?
season takes place in 1 month.
No, I meant like the
Oh.
last few episodes take place over just a few days. I think the premise of that's what makes them pretty good. I think that's we need to dive into that a little. Maybe
Yeah, I
well,
don't think
think
that
so.
is
I
what
don't
make
I
them make
put-
them.
to put
yeah.
that like into what I mean and stuff like that, because they are so focused specifically on the event that specifically being the fight that's coming up,
Mm.
there isn't a whole lot of room for them to break the world.
Well,
Yeah,
the thing is,
but
is
it's not with the
that
timing.
the
You can
thing
be
is,
focused.
I don't think it's because it's the I don't think it's because it's the timing of like when the episodes are like congruent with each other. It's more that like they focused on something more than one episode.
Yes,
I don't think it's
agree.
like the in-world timing. I think it's just they were focused.
Yeah, every episode, or at least everything in this season, should at least be a two-parter thing, because every time they bring up something, they solve it in the same episode. So there's there's nothing that lingers. Let's say.
Yes, I don't want to go into too far into it because spoilers, guys. Obviously,
Well, we can. I mean, we can. I don't know. We'll watch some of the recap, and we can respond to it, or we can. I don't know.
Quietly
If
watch.
I don't really know what the format is about. We're just kind of getting into the discussion as we go. I guess we'll try not to
Yeah.
get into it before we start the videos.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Also, to those who are watching, spoiler warning: you have been warned.
It's only a show that came out in 2014. It's not a big deal.
Guys, spoiler warning for Citizen Kane. By
I
the way.
mean, if you're watching this, you're most likely watching Sir Oliver's video, so you knew what you were getting into.
You knew. You knew. We knew.
We
should
need.
have known.
We know. We didn't know until we saw it.
We didn't
I wish
know.
we knew.
We were hopeful at the time. Remember?
Yeah,
We
I will
were
admit that
hopeful.
I was very disillusioned to the quality of the show before we started. But you know what? I will admit that that was my bad, and that I think actually there are a lot of people who should reconsider how they watch TV based off of my experience, because definitely sat down, watched this by myself on Netflix, binged it straight through. It took me an entire weekend.
Are you
Holy shit.
saying that you watched it wrong?
I watched it, as I like to usually say, brain in hand, not
Oh.
really thinking about the content that was being presented to me, just accepting that this is the series of events and seeing where the drama went.
Yeah. I think, you know what they say about hope, right?
Oh no.
Hope is like the sun. If you only believe it when you can see it, you'll never make it through the night. Well, bitches, we made it through the night. So,
I definitely heard a completely different phrase.
wait, what?
It's like your car keys. You lose them, but if you do a little digging around, you'll eventually find them. Anybody get that reference?
I did,
That's-
yes.
Okay.
Okay,
That's good. That's good. That's good.
Gosh,
Alrighty, so
I
do
mean,
we want
I'm
to start off with this recap?
I am so excited. I have a feeling the only way you could possibly even get through most of this season in 5 minutes is if you talk very fast.
Oh yeah, it's pretty impressive.
This has to be some movie Bob level beach.
That's not quite that bad. We don't need to
Okay.
slow load this.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, if everyone's ready,
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
there we go.
begin.
All right.
I'm not in the.
Yeah,
oh,
I
no-
need
oh,
the link.
did I not give you guys the link?
I am not.
No.
I
That's-
hear
No,
other
you're
for it.
not.
Like, this is new to me, so I was expecting it to pop up in the call.
That is my fault. Completely
Oh,
there we
my
go.
fault.
Victor being cringe. What a
What a
shocking
surprise!
revelation.
Yes.
What a surprise, am I right?
Oh,
we go.
look, they're
Ooh,
all of you disgusting
Season
I didn't
5
touch nothing.
are
recap.
now
That's like the
in
only
the watch
video.
together. All right.
Seth reviews. So the guy's
All right.
name?
All right,
Yeah.
Seth. Tell us tell us about this season.
All right, let's see what this big
In
chongus
5
has to
minutes.
say.
Post-apocalyptic science fiction drama series that has ran on the CW since March 2014. It's loosely based on the book series by Cass Morgan, and the series follows a group of teenagers as they become the first people to return to Earth after a devastating nuclear apocalypse. The show has changed drastically over the seasons, so I thought it'd be interesting to give it a rewatch and recap the first season for anyone who needs a refresher course. Let's get started.
The booming.
Someone's
fuck.
face.
Yeah.
You're
Like,
so he's already 33 seconds into this 5-minute video.
Yeah.
Also,
wasted
Yeah.
he
Precious
did the
time.
he did the funny like and subscribe thing. At least he
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
like say it, so that's fine.
Oh, don't worry. He's got an audio file for that.
I don't appreciate this.
Oh no, I
don't like
I
this
have new
background. This
headphones and I.
Oh my
know,
gosh,
I
you
don't
can see
appreciate
Doctor
it.
Who in the background. You can see Doctor Who.
I was trying so hard not to pause it just to say like my ears, my poor ears.
It was just like
Just-
All right,
Okay.
all right, Seth.
So does
what-
anybody have any questions about what he's or any comments you want to make about what he said in his opening?
I
I mean, it's pretty much
he
on the
kind
nose.
of just explained what the show is at like when you boil it all down.
Yeah, pretty much the general premise of episode 1.
I don't
Also,
think
this is like obviously a template that he's using for the background of this.
I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think I don't think he's going. This is probably going to be just as bad as that 10-minute summary of the entire show you
that Mark Hamill in
that
the
we
middle?
watched together.
Oh yeah, the 10-minute summary of the timeline for the
I
show.
can't-
That was oof
It's like
10
all right, each episode gets like 30 seconds tops.
at most.
I mean, actually, no. What am I saying?
Not even.
He's
It's
going to
like bullet
he's just gonna skip through episodes. He's gonna give
He's
like one major point from each episode, maybe, and not actually go into it.
If this is 5 minutes long and we've already spent half a minute just talking about what the show is, he's got like a 15 seconds per episode for this.
You'd be surprised.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see what this is. Let's see
All
what we
right,
got
buckle
here.
in, lads.
I am. I'm buckled in.
Subscribe for daily content.
Ah,
Oh my
Set in the
gosh.
distant future, 97 years after a nuclear apocalypse has
97
rendered the Earth
years.
uninhabitable, all known humans are residents of an orbiting space station known as the Ark. 100 juvenile delinquents are sent to the surface to see if the planet can once again house civilization. The Ark is slowly dying and soon will not be able to sustain the population. 17-year-old Clark Griffin, the daughter of the Ark's chief medical officer, Abby Griffin, is among the teenagers that have returned to Earth. She tries to explain to everyone how important it is to find supplies and shelter at Mount Weather, a former emergency operations center. She and the 4 others, Octavia, Finn, Monty, and Jasper, set out to reach Mount Weather, while the rest of the teens decide to rebel against the Ark and start their own community. Clark and her group
Yeah.
no,
That's,
they don't decide. They are coerced into.
yeah. That's
It's
about to
not
be
the
like.
same. Is you want to you want food? Remove your band. It's like a social program, pretty
Yeah.
much.
But it
Well,
straight
that's not
up
how it
was.
starts off. It starts off with like, why are you helping the Ark? You know, by telling them that you're alive and stuff like that, they're gonna come down here and they're gonna take over because we're just a bunch
I
of
kind of
convicts.
Yeah, big brain
yeah,
Bellamy.
but
Yeah,
And
Bellamy.
then
Yeah.
and then later on, it's proven that Bellamy can just be like, if you don't kill me, I can tell you who made me kill you.
Yeah,
So literally, this like the entire like thing doesn't matter because he could have just
well,
told.
to a
them.
degree, it does because he thinks he was successful that he did kill the Chancellor.
Fair-
He doesn't
fair
find
enough.
out till after Raven lands that he survived.
Oh yeah, good point. But
His logic, though, for doing it is what's stupid
it really
Yep.
is. Yeah.
because I can't protect Octavia if they come to the ground.
Also, what is he hoping to do with only 6 bullets at the time? Not even 6.
Well, he has
Yeah.
5, so I guess he had 6.
Yes,
But
well,
It
that's
wasn't like it
he-
wasn't like a revolver or something. It was like an M911. Oh.
well, it's an M1911 in the 22nd century.
Yeah, why isn't there like plastic future guns or whatever that you can just make?
I don't know why it wasn't just like an
Well,
energy, like a plasma
part of the
pistol or
reason why I
something.
shared the. Well, this is part of the reason why I shared the timeline video with Victor, and it's like I'm kind of wishing I shared it with you guys now. When the bombs fell, it was in the mid 2050s.
yeah, they should have better weapons by that time. Not
We're
even
talking 30 to
100.
40 years from now.
Yeah, not even
You think they'll have
100
laser? You think
years.
they'll have laser guns by then?
Yeah, not I don't know if laser guns, but at least something more common that we are seeing in the show.
I think you could if you can substitute a gun from that we have now, that's pretty embarrassing.
Yes.
Mhm.
You don't need you actually could have in that time a very old gun and it would still be much more efficient than whatever he's using.
Yeah.
That's yes. What year that did that gun came into production?
The what now?
The gun that he is using.
The U.S. is using the M16.
Yeah.
I
No,
It came in-
rifle, I thought.
You're looking
M16
for
rifle first. M16A1 first went into service in the late 1950s, early 1960s. We are now on the
So it's-
M16A4 model, but it's the major differences with it is like refinement of the manufacturing process, so you could better be able to like interswap parts and
so but
prevent as much
logic
jamming
it's
issues that
a
there was.
200 it's a 200 gun.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's
yeah, like
that's
the
our
gun.
point.
The gun, I was gonna say I was confused if you were looking for extra lore on the gun that Bellamy's using, or were you just like, well, because it has 6 bullets, it must have been made in the early 1900s.
No. I'm
Actually, it'd
I'm
probably be
searching
even
for
worse
the
because the
logic
ones
of
that they find are actually probably more like AR-15s instead of M16s.
I'm just surprised what genius chose to have a projectile weapon on a space station.
Yeah, that comes in. That's another big like. Even the one from the beginning where it was like the trank dart, that makes more sense than an actual live fire round.
Yes. Which that's why I was fine with the trank dart, because if it was just a tranquilizer dart, I'd be like fine. But no, it's literal
Yeah.
bullets.
Yeah, if it was trank guns and like stun guns, that would be one thing.
Yeah, we're
Yeah,
we're, we're
and then they
Yes.
never like use guns ever after that point. So it's like, is there just one gun and Bellamy just had it and used up all the bullets? Like, is that it?
where are my cattle? Where are my cattle prods?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely
Amazing.
interesting. But you could kind of see what I meant beforehand. How he's like, technically he's right, but he's also wrong.
All right.
Discover they are
it's-
not alone on Earth when Jasper is speared by someone.
Yes.
Meanwhile,
Yes,
back on Ark,
Jasper!
Chancellor Jahan has been
Jasper.
shot, which leaves the merciless Councilman Marcus Kane left to take charge. Abby recruits Raven, a zero gravity.
Do you hear what he said there?
Oh,
the merciless counselor Kane.
Yeah. After that,
So-
he just flipped the switch.
Did you
Merciless.
catch how he's just jumping into the next point without any kind of
Diving into it.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
also I'm pretty sure he skipped like 2 or 3 episodes because his next point was like
Pretty much.
Abby recruits Raven. It's like was that
That's in
episode
episode
2? I don't
3.
think so.
No, Raven
Does it-
starts eavesdropping in episode 2. She's not recruited till episode 3. Yeah.
Yeah, that's episode 3.
Yay!
So he definitely jumped ahead there a bit because in
I
this
knew that.
particular scene that he's showing right now, that's when Raven first confronts him because they're like, why can't I go see my boyfriend in the skybox?
I mean,
And because she's chief medical officer and they said they're under quarantine, she's going directly to her.
this is kind of what I expected in a video this length, but this also kind of implies that there wasn't anything important enough in episode 2 to cover it.
But we haven't
This
even.
is this is a and this happened video, but not it isn't even right. There's I don't know. There are missing parts. Some parts are maybe confusing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I could definitely see where it gets confusing because I know he got confused here because we're talking. He jumped straight into episode 3 with this point, but I'm pretty sure he's going to jump back into episode 2 here in just a second.
Let's see.
Gravity mechanic to fix a drop pod to send herself to the ground. Meanwhile, on Earth, Clark, Wells, Murphy, and Bellamy set out to rescue Jasper, finding him tied to a tree. They manage to return to their camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He
see?
skipped the how Jasper should be dead, but
Yeah, he should definitely just be dead because that spear like went like a good 4 inches into him in his chest.
Oh yeah. Well, I
Like,
found a
even if
bunch
it
of
just hit like
close
the
to-
center of his chest, that would still hit like
pretty
That would just hit
pretty
anything
close to
vital.
the heart.
that would just hit anything vital.
Oh yeah. Even with
Yes.
a punctured lung, you have to deal with a sucking chest wound at a minimum.
And remember, this they have healers. They don't even have doctors. They couldn't patch that up.
Yeah. I think what
Yeah.
they said was that they cauterized it and then put a poultice on it is what they did to patch him. But
They-
like
I'm
that
surprised
wasn't
So
enough.
he should be
from,
dead.
I'm surprised he didn't die from an infection then, because they
Well,
don't
he
even
almost did.
understand like wound
Internal,
sterilization.
not
No,
even
he
that.
almost
did.
Internal bleeding.
Internal
as
bleeding
well.
would be the big one for sure, but he almost died of infection because what they go back out with Wells and everything to go find that seaweed that's supposed to fight off infection.
Yeah, I know, but he should be choking in his blood.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's what I was
Yes.
saying beforehand. That's why it's like it's a sucking chest wound. Like how you have to handle that and everything, they just completely do not handle at all properly.
The lung is filling with blood right now.
Yeah,
He's dead. He's the most metal undead thing that there is.
yeah.
Choking in blood.
I actually remember some of my training from active duty and like how you deal with a sucking chest wound. You use plastic, you tape off 3 sides, but you leave the bottom end open. You put the person up on their side, right? So then that way it kind of gives it like a spot to where the blood could drain, right?
Yep.
But the reason for taping off the 3 sides and stuff like that is because when you inhale, it'll pull the paper or it'll pull the plastic flat against the wound to keep air from getting sucked in through the opening into your lung. So you could actually like use your lungs properly. But then when you exhale, it allows the air and everything to escape.
Yeah, that's
That makes sense.
But
Yeah, it
like
does make
that wasn't even an option here for them because they cauterized it and then put a poultice on it. So it's like
They
they at least sealed
remember
the wound. But
he gets dragged. He gets dragged all the way from that part to the campament. He
to the
should be
tree,
dead
yeah.
just by being dragged all around while in critical condition.
Oh yeah. It's bad. Like we flat out know that he should be dead. But I did find out from interviews and stuff like that. Somebody on the crew wasn't like apparently so impressed with Jasper's performance from episode 1, they rewrote that part of the story to include him into the story.
Yeah, I
No
can
wonder he
see
feels
that,
like a
but you
fucking
can at
elephant.
least edit the part that he gets
Oh yeah, no, they like
gets killed.
if they thought like especially because like all the other episodes would still been in production and stuff, that would have been the time to do a reshoot for that ending there.
Not even a reshoot. You can edit that part. You can show the the spear without it hitting Jasper and
Well,
then
like
a
it would
scream.
no, you could even still get him hit by the spear if they just like moved it up to his shoulder and like pinned him against the tree.
I know, but you can even avoid that if you can't even reshoot or CGI that. You can avoid showing the part that he gets stabbed and just I don't know, putting a scream or something,
Oh,
You
just
and
could
you
like
get
have
the
a
the you could
flash
idea.
or
have the
something.
spear like you could have the spear like fly towards him and then just cut to like him falling over or
Yes,
something like that. Just make it more ambiguous than him like
A
having his spear
full
lodged
view
in
from
his chest
the
into a
front.
tree.
A full
yes,
view from the front.
from back and from the front, both sides.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
Because
bad.
remember,
And
from the
it was
back you see the spear going through him.
also the spear was far enough into him that it was able to hold its weight at that angle.
Hmm.
Yes.
And spears are like what? Like most spears are like 7 pounds ish.
They've got some heft to them. I know that much.
I'm just gonna look up average spear.
Well, it has to be light enough
Average
for that they were able to throw it very far.
average
Yeah,
spear
Oh
yes,
yeah,
they
because
are
like
weight.
Olympians.
oh yeah, that's another thing he completely blew past too. Is that they are able to the grounders are able to throw the spear at 100 meters.
Yeah, they are all Olympians.
Yeah, they are eliminated. Yeah.
They are like Olympian strength. Which
So
now I like.
the average spear head weight is about 2 pounds. And then the short spear weighs
The conclusion anyway is that yes, Jasper should be dead, and this could be avoided by editing a bit without even having to reshoot or CGI anything.
Yeah, but they wanted their massive cliffhanger. So that's
Yeah,
another
well,
issue that I take. It's like I don't necessarily have an issue with cliffhangers as long as they make sense.
yes, but this
Yeah.
didn't.
This is just
Like even if he
this
like
is
got
just
hit by the spear and he like
drama.
disappeared into the bush and like you just didn't see, you couldn't tell where he got hit or anything else like that.
Yeah,
That could even
that's a
work.
cliffhanger, and
Okay,
you
so
can
spears are
still keep that.
generally about 1 to 2 kilos.
I
So
will
it's like
get a beer.
5
This will get
pounds,
long.
maybe.
Yeah.
I'm kind of sticking to this point. Yeah, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean technically you could launch a spear that far, but you need other things to do it. You couldn't do that by hand. Because like I'm pretty sure there was like a whole device like the ancient people used. I don't remember what it's called specifically, but it's like you lock the spear into that and then you throw it uh using that device, and that gives you like 3 times the distance you would have if you threw it by hand easily. But I still don't know if it would match like 100 meters.
Well,
Mm.
let's hear what he has to say next about
Yeah.
whatever important point he's going to bring up, obviously.
Mhm.
Rescue Jasper, finding him tied to a tree. They manage to return to their camp with him. Bellamy forces the 100 to trade their wristbands for food, but Clark manages to keep hers. The arc
Oh yeah, we completely skip past the fact that you know, he cornered Wells and got his wristband taken off like almost at gunpoint and got jumped by his gang. We completely skipped over the fact that Bellamy like even started convincing everybody to remove their wristbands, like how that no, that was the confusing point he brought up earlier. But he didn't talk about why he did what he did with Wells or anything else like that, or how later on, I think it was was it Wells that took the gun and shot the Jaguar? They just
Yes.
said that they got food and they started trading it.
Yeah, he just ninja'd it off screen.
Yeah. Just bringing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
watches as the wristbands go offline, believing the 100 are dying. Clark, Finn, and Wells search for antibiotic seaweed to treat Jasper's wounds. Bellamy assembles a hunting group who are followed by Charlotte, a troubled young girl. Bellamy comforts the girl during an acidic fog that forces them to
Oh
escape.
no, yeah.
Clark and
I hate this character.
Wells reconcile after a
Everyone.
long talk, and Charlotte
Oh,
misinterprets
do
Bellamy
you
and
love how he
defies
did
him.
that?
Oh,
Oh,
no!
do you-
Uh,
No!
You-
Oh no!
Oh, Do you love how he summarized that after our long conversation?
I'm
Wells and Clark make up.
I'm sorry. I was talking over that. Should we go back?
Yeah, because he pretty much summarizes that the whole reason that she hates Wells and everything else like that from the very beginning and stuff like that. It just sums up in a long conversation. You don't need to know the details.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
wounds. Bellamy assembles a hunting group who are followed by Charlotte, a troubled young girl. Bellamy comforts the girl during an acidic fog that forces them to take refuge. Clark and Wells reconcile after a long talk, and Charlotte misinterprets Bellamy's advice and ends up killing Wells. Clark accuses
Oof.
Yeah,
Wow.
a long talk.
I mean, who cares about the details? That just happens.
Not only that,
It happens.
now I think, why did Charlotte went into the hunting group knowing that I don't know, she's the youngest one in the group?
If I remember correctly, it's because she wanted to prove that she like belonged. I can't remember.
It doesn't sound
She's
like
like,
someone
she
with
does
a
the
lot
whole,
of
like, I'm
a
not
lot of
little.
nightmares.
Yeah, it's-
Yeah, but someone with a lot of nightmares, a lot of issues, doesn't go into hunting groups to prove themselves. No, they should be more secure persons do that.
Yeah, you would think. And he also skipped over the fact that she started talking with Clark first, because Clark gives her the like it's okay to be afraid speech before the hunting party ever starts.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's the okay to be
Uh,
hunting thing, and then she also sees Clark kill that other dude like a psychopath, and then she's like, "Okay, that's fine. That's a normal human thing because your leader
She
literally
forgot.
did it."
so I just
She
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
to hum and to sing before killing.
so it just
And then
occurred. It just occurred to
Bellamy.
me. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go
It
ahead.
just. I was just gonna say it's really short. It just occurred to me he's just gonna brush over Murphy almost getting hanged here.
He's just gonna be
Yeah,
like,
he's
and then they
That's
blame
not
Murphy,
important.
and then he almost got hanged, and then he was exiled. That's how it's gonna. That's like the
Mhm.
maximum amount of detail he's gonna be for this.
don't you do my boy Murphy Bird. Here we go.
Hmm.
Are we ready to see this nightmare?
I'm so ready.
Yes.
Murphy of Wells' death after Octavia and Jasper discover his knife. Before Murphy can be hung for his alleged crime, Charlotte confesses and then flees the camp.
Before
Clark,
it already
feeling
happened.
guilty for what she's done, Charlotte
Oof. Hang on. We got to go back just a little bit there. Go
There
back,
she
like
goes.
here. Okay, let's try here. Let's like listen to what he has to say here, because this is something that like I take issue with.
crime, Charlotte confesses and then flees the camp with Clark and Finn. Feeling guilty for what she's done, Charlotte jumps off a cliff and commits suicide. Bellamy banishes Murphy in anger. Clark and Finn find themselves alone in the bunker.
Okay, it was that bit specifically with Charlotte. It's like feeling bad for what she did and everything. She like no further context on that.
No,
Like,
no.
and
Remember,
just that
she almost
she just flees the camp with like Finn and Clark.
she almost got 2 persons killed. She only killed one.
hmm
Ah.
And then, like you said, it was they glance right over like exiling Murphy. They don't talk about how he was like hunting her down or anything.
And they exiled Murphy because fuck Murphy. No, there was no actual reason in that moment.
We're almost to the end of episode 4. And we're 2 minutes and 20 seconds in.
Yeah, this really get
On
fast
board
at the
Ark,
end.
Raven launches off alone and prepares to return to Earth. Bellamy reaches Raven's pod and throws away her radio. Clark and Finn follow and help Raven, who is revealed to be Finn's girlfriend, leaving Clark devastated. Octavia is
Leaving Clark devastated.
KO.
Oh,
Get fucked, Clark. No one cares.
he's like he's almost completely cut out Bellamy's whole story so far.
Yeah, well, I
Like,
mean,
Bellamy has like had very little to do with anything so far in his little recap here.
look, when you think main character, you think Raven.
Yes.
I don't even know which main character is the main character.
Tell me more.
anymore.
Yeah.
There's like
Would you like to know more?
there's like 5 main characters. There's Bellamy, then there's Clark. Then
Octavia.
he hasn't even touched anything on the arc while this is happening, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually really, really weird.
He hasn't said anything about the arc, which you'd think would be like pertinent. So
Oh yeah, because like at this point, like the whole reason that they wanted to launch the pod was because of the culling that's coming up. So there's like a lot of
yeah.
back and forth going on with that, and Kane slamming
Like,
his fist on the table.
he didn't even mention the black market thing. He
Oh
didn't
yeah, exactly.
mention how almost got the
Wait, hold on.
Abby yeeted again.
Did he? This might be my own bad. Did he not mention that Abby almost got sentenced to death and then was bailed out at the last minute by the chancellor? Did that?
Yeah, no,
I think he didn't mention.
he showed the clip, but he didn't say that's what was going on. They just said that they were at
Yes.
the mercy of
That's a huge
Kane.
deal.
And that he
Yes.
didn't even mention that like the chancellor, survived his, because like they have
No.
all that information at the beginning that like Bellamy shot the chancellor to get onto the arc to begin with because he's not supposed to be there. And they know in the very first episode that that's their witness because the guy who sets up the whole thing is the one who tells Kane like this is who our suspect is.
Mm-hmm.
This is
Captured by a
churras.
grounder. Clark and Raven travel to Finn's bunker in hopes of finding a radio transmitter with which to contact the Ark, and Raven
radio
discovers Finn's
transmitter.
involvement with Clark. Bellamy, Finn, and Jasper rescue Octavia, and Finn ends up getting stabbed in the process. Finn is near death from the poison stab wound. And
Holy shit,
Bellamy,
we're
having
already in like
captured the
episode
grounder
7
who
or 8
stabbed
now.
Finn, tortures him for the antidote, but he does not speak. Raven connects with the Ark, and Abby assists Clark with treating Finn. Octavia
He's
Okay, I
completely
just wanted-
skipped calling.
I
And he's
just-
skipped everything with Kane, like all of a sudden switching characters, being like, I feel so bad for what I've done now.
Yeah, it's Kane switches from like Omega Badman to like the second coming of Jesus off screen somehow. It's like a switch was flipped. And then also the whole thing with the grounder that they capture, his name is Lincoln. That's more context than this guy's probably going to give you. He's the one that captured Octavia. He wasn't talking while they were torturing him, but he can speak like perfect English.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
because everyone
there's-
can. In fact,
There's no point to him not saying what the antidote is when Finn is dying, because
yeah,
what's
there's
the
no
point? He's captured already. He should know that like if he wants to like survive, he has to cooperate or he'll die. This
At
isn't
least
like the
lie.
Grounders where they'll just kill outsiders like randomly.
At least you
Oh, they
can
treat the
you
whole
can
thing as a
lie
big
if you
reveal
know
that he can't.
English.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can at least lie, but no, he was like getting tortured. He got electrocuted. He got beaten and whipped. Like, I think the only thing that stopped him from not giving the antidote was Octavia being like, "Oh yeah, well I'll stab myself and then I'll be poisoned. Joke's on you." And that's what happens.
her
And then
line
he's
was,
like,
"He
"I'll
won't
give
let
you
me
the
die."
poison, or whatever."
Yeah, his line was, her line was, he won't let me die. And she like cuts down her forearm and it starts pointing at different vials, which one's the antidote.
Yeah.
And then she like blames everybody else who's doing torture to him and everything else like that from the get-go, because it's like, if you just let me talk to him from the beginning, we would have had this answer like hours ago. Because with like time lapse in this is very odd. It seems to take place over the entire night.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be implied later because his wounds are healed a bit more.
It is a really low poison for some reason.
Yeah.
Easily curable.
Yeah, it's
Or quickly cured, anyways.
Yep, slow to kill you and easy to cure. That's like you the way you need to do with poisons. No
Well,
mistakes.
Grounder to reveal the antidote by poisoning herself with the same blade. Now
Nope, there we
recovered
go.
from his injuries, Finn arranges a meeting with the local Grounder leader through Lincoln,
What?
the man who captured Octavia. Clark represents the
What? He skipped the episode completely when they all got high.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
how
but
Lincoln
also-
escaped.
and also how Lincoln just escaped, and also
This is what I
also Finn's fine now.
this has to happen. He's running out of time. He also
Oh,
needs
yeah.
he also needs to give his outro because he's probably
This
one of
is
these
like-
Oh, man.
This
creators.
is like this is the Spark Notes of the Spark Notes.
Yeah.
Like
it would have benefited him to actually double the length of his video to include a more, even if he was doing it bullet point style, he could still include a lot more information that would have been a much more useful recap. He's almost like trying to do a recap for an entire season that would fit like in the first episode of season 2. It's like, here's all the things that you might have missed, at least that we think are important. Anyways, back to the show.
The group and goes to the meeting where she meets Anya, their leader. Jasper and Bella.
Slant face. Get it right.
Yes.
Sorry, slant nose. Oh, gosh. Such a
I'm
sex.
trying to think of like what her like her ethnicity is, because it's like I'm gonna toss it between like Asian or like Eskimo.
I'm pretty sure you can't say that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll use your word. I'm pretty sure Eskimo
No, it's not
i-
offensive.
is derived from a lot of like ancient Asian tribes, as it is.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
There was the whole land bridge between Alaska and China for like thousands
or
of years
Alaska and
before.
Russia, but yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. It's actually they did the like DNA and all that, and they found that most Native American tribes either made their way from I think it's the Pacific or area, or they made their way over the land bridge. And that's like the two
Yeah.
ways that they like found the two ways they got there.
Yeah,
So,
I think what the main theory was, like the land bridge between like Russia and Alaska, or they came up from like South America. I think that was the other theory, like the other half of that theory too, is they just kept moving north.
Yeah,
Because you can just see like a distinct difference between like northern tribes and southern tribes.
Oh yeah.
You know, the southern tribes tend to have a little bit more of a what would you refer to it as a Hispanic? I'm not trying to say like flat out Mexican, obviously. I'm trying to think like Brazilian maybe, or
No, the tribes
Peruvian
are
maybe.
the Incas, the Aztecs, and the Mayans. That you Incas
Yeah.
were they were on the really south of South America, so yeah, they could have traveled.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking like primarily those tribes were the ones that spread north.
Yeah, probably some groups of those tribes.
They probably took primarily like California, Texas, that general area, and then maybe just like interbreeding between like the northern and the southern tribes, and like started moving out east from there.
Yes. Yeah, I think
That's what I think. I don't know. I don't have any like concrete evidence to support that. That's just what I think. It sounds about right to me, anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Slant Nose.
Yes, snot nose.
Bro,
Tell me more.
I was
Hey.
drinking. Oh my gosh. The slant nose. Okay.
Drinking on the job.
From the
Bro,
dead.
you expect me to get through this over?
All right, here we go.
Bellamy are watching the meeting from the woods, and Jasper opens fire, thinking the Grounders are about to attack.
Okay,
No,
Jasper!
they were going to attack.
They had
Yeah,
arrows drawn.
they absolutely were. That's why
and
he
then
fired on them.
literally Slant Nose is there to be like, you guys are so dead. I'm going to kill you and kill you again, and then I'm going to find you in hell and kill you again, and then because you burned our. Okay, he also like went over the whole rockets being fired so the Ark can see them.
Oh yeah.
And also the those burning villages, like all of the villages, all of
This
them.
is like an extremely dense show that you just cannot recap this in 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is like you have to recap this in like 30 minutes. Like this, so much happens.
minimum 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's if you can like condense and cut out like the useless like romance plot points that don't matter.
I still don't think that's enough. Really. I'd say give
like
yourself a
40
good.
minutes?
Yeah, if you want to give like 5 minutes to each episode.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
that's
5
you,
times 13.
you see what I'm saying? Like, try to think of it like 5 minutes per episode. You end up with an hour-long video at the
if you
Easy.
very
want to
beginning.
give 10 minutes to each episode, that would be like 2 hours long.
Yeah.
I know that's what I mean. Like, that's what you need to do.
Oh
That's
my god, we
assuming that you
discovered
take the last
Quentin's
two
recipe.
episodes as one.
We literally just discovered Quentin's recipe.
Yeah, Quentin's recipe. Wait, what?
Dun dun. Quentin reviews.
Oh, okay. That's who I thought I was talking about. It's like, wait. And then
Yeah,
it's like,
his
oh
new
yeah,
fake
oh yeah,
long
because he
thing.
made the Victoria video that's like 8 hours long, and it's just him basically giving a plot synopsis of each and every episode,
Mm-hmm.
and then talking about
Oh,
third-party video games that he's playing. That's it. Like,
Remember,
wow.
everyone, your time is valuable. So,
yeah,
so watch this video.
yeah, this is very valuable to your time. Please.
I
That
recommend
wasn't
The
Corey.
Matrix Resurrections.
Ugh.
I recommend Terminator Genesis.
Oh god.
At least you'll laugh at
I
it.
would highly recommend Terminator Salvation before I go anywhere near that piece of shit.
Isn't that fourth one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't know.
nice.
I can't bring myself to watch anything after T3, and I still haven't seen T3 in many
In
years.
full.
Years.
Oh.
T2 is a perfect movie. Watch that movie.
I agree.
It's objectively a great movie. There, I said the thing. There we
The
go.
thing.
Now let's talk about the 100.
Yes.
And the meeting dissolves into a battle. Raven builds a bomb to stop the grounders from crossing a bridge, and Jasper detonates it as the raiding party attacks. Raven then ends.
He's also completely skipped over the coup.
Yeah.
Is
He
he
Completely
gonna
skipped over the coup.
Is he gonna skip
He
the part where Murphy kidnaps Bellamine? He's gonna be like, or maybe he'll just be like, Murphy kidnaps Bellamine, but he manages to escape.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I
It's like
think
not
he
going
skipped
any
every.
details.
It's like honestly, I think he skips everything that happens in space up until like the last 2 or 3 episodes.
Yeah, also the mutiny where, what is it, like 1,000 people just die crashing into the planet.
I think they said the total number of lives
Oh, no, it's
lost
like
between the
100.
shuttle and between the ones that died from the arc being separated was
22,000, right?
over 1,500.
Oh, yeah.
And
No,
like,
22,000 is like the
There's
max
2,200.
population.
Yeah, there's 2,200 on the ship.
1,000,
well, the worst
Oh
part
my
about
gosh.
that was like, Oliver, who's the name? Who's that council member that betrays everyone? What's her name?
Oh, Diana.
Diana. Yeah, it's like she
Diana,
also took
no.
some of the best people on the ark, and then what? Crashes the ship? Like that wasn't very smart.
Oh yeah, she takes pretty
No.
much what is considered the underprivileged with her on the arc and everything. Like that's her whole like angle that like because we've been so like underprivileged this whole time.
Yeah, the worker
She's
class, let's say.
she's the like mechanics and builders and all that.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like,
what I say.
guess
He's
we'll
like-
Worker
die.
class.
This is what if we're going to go down to the planet, I'm gonna take my people first. And then she like yeets herself into the earth and explodes. That's
Yay.
yeah.
Well, like how
Which will get
dumb?
explained in season 2.
How dumb are you when they already sent a shuttle that they didn't even know if it was going to survive? They managed to send a shuttle with 100 people down there, and you couldn't manage doing the same thing. It's been
No.
done.
Nah,
no,
you see,
I guess not.
Victor. You see,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter because my opinion says so. So
Well,
obviously.
it's even more confusing because when you get into the nitty gritty details and stuff like that, the Exodus ship.
Why
From
did
what
the
I
other Exodus
understand,
ship
there's
destroy
only
everything?
there's only one of two things. Either one, I misinterpreted it, and the Exodus ship is just one of 7 other ships
That's what I
that they
thought.
had in total, each one able to carry 100 people, and they lost one of them because that's the ones that the 100% on, or the Exodus ship was the ship that they had been constantly adding on to this entire time, and it only gotten to a point where they were able to get 700 people aboard the Exodus ship.
Yeah, it's very it's me. Like
Yeah, but it
I
looks
always
almost
assume
identical to the
because
comic.
they They say later on in the finale that they still have the 6 other ships. So yeah, I think
Did they?
the Exodus ship is just a completely separate ship, which makes no.
Wait, no,
But
no, no,
in
no. Hang
another
on, hang on, hang on,
episode
hang on,
before
hang on.
the ending.
Did they say that the other 6 ships were still on the
Oh no, they're
on
talking
the
about
arc?
shit. No, they're talking about the satellites. Never mind. They're like the
Okay, okay,
satellites
because
that
like
were
for a
brought
second
to
there,
the
it's
space
like you
stations.
dumbasses. If you had 6 other ships, thanks to Diana, you have enough ships to get everybody to the ground now.
I mean, you'd think
Because
they
there's
could
only
be able
700 people
to.
left on the damn ship.
You think you'd be able to, like jury rig some kind of like jet propulsion system to at least break the fall with the other shuttles, because they
That would have
managed.
been the other alternative because
What?
they could have attached a shuttle to each one of the sections, or at
The
least
Exodus
to
ships.
like the 6 main sections that they wanted to keep in
Yeah,
like, so they like try to sustain and try to use those shuttles to like offset the amount of damage that it was going to cause on impact. And it would have
yeah.
saved a hell of a lot more people's lives if they
Another.
had those other 6 ships, which is why I'm questioning this now.
But the thing is that the at the end that it proves that you could use the shuttles to just land normally because they do it.
No, they didn't have the shuttles. That was just the
No, I
arc
mean the
crashing
space
into the.
station. I mean the space stations, not the
Well,
Exodus
most of
ships.
it burns up to nothing.
Yeah, but you can still use it. Like it's not like all is lost. You still have those things.
I'm just saying they could have salvaged a lot more if they did have 6 more shuttles
Yeah,
aside from the Exodus ship that got launched.
yeah. And then we
I
have Raven
oh,
being a
fuck.
cunt.
Oh, I think this. Oh man, I think we found another big problem with this story that we didn't recognize the first time.
Oh my god, this is
Who would
this
have
is this
guessed?
is productive. Definitely not like a certain other piece of media that has been heavily discussed. The Last
Oh my
Jedi
god.
The
Every,
is
Last
every
Jedi.
time, every time
It's a
you review
film.
something this bad, there's more shit to uncover.
Oh
Last
yeah,
Jedi is a film
it's like a
in
little
which
gem.
men learn
Yes,
to be
it's
underwear.
like shit, covered in shit, with layers of shit all over it.
You have to get to the shit singularity. Destroy it.
all right.
Destroy it. No.
Let's,
The
It's
shit
like the
compressor.
Centurion. It's like the Centurion from Treasure Planet. Remember that, Victor? The Centurion.
Yeah. Let's not talk about good things. We're talking about
Ding.
100.
And then we have to put, and then we have to put the definition of what that means in the top corner, because that otherwise no one would understand the big word, right?
No need.
Yeah.
Of
No.
course.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah,
let's.
and
I'm curious to see what next very important point he's going to bring up. That's worth summarizing.
Oh,
lack of
judging
Because
from this
there,
scene here, it's gonna be when she breaks up with Finn. But let's find out.
Oh, okay.
I love that I'm so invested in that relationship.
All right.
let's go.
Ends things with Finn. Clark and Finn are captured and brought to the grounder camp where Anya instructs Clark to save a young girl who was injured in the bomb blast. Clark tries to save her, but it's unsuccessful, and in revenge, Finn is taken away to be executed. Clark escapes by killing her guard and runs. Lincoln leads Clark and Finn through a network of tunnels occupied by the Reapers, cannibals who even the grounders are afraid of. Back at the dropship, Murphy's taken Jasper hostage, and Bellamy trades himself for Jasper.
Oh, by the way, I just completely realized he skipped
He couldn't get
over-
another line read for that.
I know.
really.
I was
Oh,
was
no.
gonna say I heard it earlier, but he just did one take on every
Yeah,
line.
that's what it
Yeah,
sounds
this
like
is like no, this is just one giant one take, I think.
I think it is.
Because the way he like leans into each sentence, it's like he's like catching his breath and then starting again.
Mhm.
Also, like,
Not only that, but I just realized that he completely skipped over the biological warfare virus.
yeah,
Yes.
he completely skipped over the plague.
Because like Murphy,
He
like
skipped
because if you follow in this
Murphy killing
recap,
people.
Murphy's back out of nowhere because the last you heard of Murphy was exile.
yeah.
No. He skipped over Murphy killing people.
Well, that's what I
Yeah.
mean, though. Like, or it's not what I mean, but that's what kind of he was getting. Oliver was getting at, but like he skips the entire episode where they find Murphy, and then he kills.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name. He's not important, but the one of the
No, he
guys who
didn't.
tried to execute him
Yeah.
at the end there.
But he killed 2 people on.
Oh yeah. He
Yeah.
completely glosses over why he even has Jasper prisoner in the first place.
Or how, well, not only that, but he also glossed completely over how Murphy's even back here because he was exiled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not
So, yeah.
important.
He just glosses over things over and over again. Like,
Yeah.
not a good video.
Oh, there we go. Oh, okay.
Murphy shoots his gun aimlessly at the floor of the dropship and accidentally shoots Raven. He blows a hole in the ship
Aimless.
with gunpowder and
Wait, I'm sorry. Is he trying to? Is that the right word? Aimlessly.
I would say aimlessly would be
Pretty sure he's aiming at the
close.
floor for a reason.
Yeah, but he aimlessly would probably be more indication of like he doesn't know where his target is.
I will say that this blindly.
Yeah, blindly would probably be a better word.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to be semantical here. I just
Yeah.
that's I use
well,
aimlessly when someone's like, I don't know why I'm doing this.
Yeah, sure.
Even I, the filthy non-English speaker, can do it.
I think
What do you mean?
like,
English
the
is
word-
easy.
the word
Yeah.
aimlessly could also mean like, you know, you just like you have no point to what you're doing.
Exactly.
That's literally what you said. Yeah,
That's what I mean. That's why it triggered me.
Yes.
it's okay to be triggered, man.
Words matter.
with a radio. Clark returns and convinces the group to flee the camp for the ocean where she thinks they'll be safe. Meanwhile, on board the Ark, they realize the only way to save themselves is to drop out of orbit and try to.
This is the first time he's gotten back to the Ark, by the way.
I know. I was going to point that out. Like, oh, now the arc's important.
Yeah.
It's been important this entire time, but whatever.
Oh yeah, especially in the last half, it is constantly back and forth between the two. Anyway,
make it to the ground. The group is ambushed by grounders and forced to retreat back to the camp. The people on board the Ark prepare to return to the Earth, but after a technical failure, Jaha must remain on board to jettison the ship. The 100 go back inside their dropship, and Jasper manages to activate its rockets, which releases a massive
there's that stutter
fireball
again.
that kills most of the
Oh,
grounders.
that
When
looks
the group
bad.
emerge from the dropship, though, gas grenades drop at their feet and they all pass out. Clark wakes up in the White Room. Through the window in
The
the
White
she
Room.
sees Monty locked in an identical room across from the hallway. A sign
Oh,
makes
there
it
it is
clear
again.
that Mount Weather
The
quarantine
the
ward, and
hallway.
the first season comes to a close. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, that's nothing.
I
Look,
can't believe I'm
like,
saying
I
this.
was right. The last
was
30 seconds is an
struggling.
outro.
I
Yeah.
can't
So-
believe I'm
so
saying this.
he only-
CinemaSins has more depth than this.
He talked about the series for 4 minutes.
Tops.
Yeah.
Tops.
Because he had a 30-minute or 30-second intro
generous.
too. So
Yeah,
4
where
minutes and 10 seconds.
that was not worth hurting my ears in the beginning.
No, the thump noise.
No,
Dum, 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 dum.
my headphones had a lot of bass and in the frequency, and
Mine has like this
my
rumble bass thing built in,
Just
so like
boom,
my whole
boom,
headset
boom,
actually
boom.
vibrates with the bass.
Oh, that's
oh.
Felt like I was in a nightclub for a second.
yeah. That's what I hate it.
I posted in the chat the frequency response of my headphones, and you say the slow bass is super.
Jesus Christ.
So
Oh gosh,
Oh,
that's
man.
terrible.
Oh,
That is really bad.
I have to
with my headphones, that didn't sound really good.
And that video that was a really.
So
I kind of
does that-
wish we got
does
his
that
thoughts
recap
on
that
everything.
very well.
And he didn't even recap it fully. He just
No,
did
he
some
skipped
stuff.
skipped over very important parts of the show.
He literally
yeah.
recapped only half of the show.
Yeah.
He didn't even
I
do
will be
the
right back.
arc.
All right.
I hate that I'm defending the 100 on
This is
this.
well.
Even
This,
the 100 is better than this.
no, I know, but like this is the position we're put in when we're watching a very bad video.
Where it's like, no, it's deeper than that, and it's like it's the 100. What are we saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
deeper.
but wait, we need to defend objectivity. We need to uncover the truth, even if we don't like it.
Objectivity. This is like straight up it's not even like objective because it's like he's literally
No.
just wrong at points.
Yes.
Like he went through this and like this was like watching the 100 on a second monitor while playing Minecraft or something, and then just wrote down what he remembers.
Well,
Ugh.
I mean, the amount of
Yeah.
effort is clearly expressed with he's trying to do this. He said all of this and then he cut up each line into separate clips and didn't even bother
then-
to re-record ones where he accidentally almost says another word.
The thing is that like re-recording people, like whenever I see like a re-recording error and then I see people like try to cover that up with like text or something like that, it really annoys me because it's like the least amount of effort you could put into it. It's
No,
just
But this is something.
no, 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 no.
go back.
Here's the thing, Jubilee. I know what you're trying to say, but it actually takes more effort.
Really
As
to
someone who
to
knows
go back
what it's like
and
to just put text on the screen, that it doesn't take much effort, but it takes
no
more
no no
effort
no
than it would
no
be
no
just
no
to re-record it.
no. I'm saying it would take less effort to re-record it, not put the text on the screen. Because
Oh, okay.
if you messed up, you can just click that like little track that you messed up on, and then
I
just
can I
re-record it,
can
or
tell you
cut
why
that bit out
it's
and then
less
re-record
effort.
that bit.
I can tell you why it's less effort. Because you don't have an editor that does that shit for you.
Yeah, just
That's the thing. Re-recorded, it will mean I need to re-record it, and having text on the screen is, oh, I can tell my editor put that there.
But this is a 5-minute video with an intro and an
I
outro.
I know, but this
This is something
was
I
wrong.
could. This is something I could
This
have made in an hour.
yeah, I know, but you will put effort on it. He didn't.
I know. I would put. I could make this in an hour and put more effort into it.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's my goodness. It's just
Well, I wouldn't know personally, but I'm gonna find out.
Oh, you will, and trust me,
You-
it just makes you more disappointed when you see
when
videos
you
on YouTube.
when you figure out how easy it is to record something like this, like to re-record a line or something like that, you don't even have to re-record the entire paragraph. Just cut off like to where the sentence was.
You can do it in the
Oh, that
in the
messed
part
same
up,
I'm not so,
editor
and then
if
that
you
part
just
I'm
want.
not so worried about. Is the video editing that I'm worried about.
oh yeah,
You can
yeah.
you can re-record in the
I did.
same video editor, so you don't even have to change programs or anything if you want.
Yeah, that first video was bad, man.
Excuse me.
Feels bad, man.
It just feels bad.
Copy that. Okay. There we
Love
go.
it, love it, love it, love it.
Oh, that was rough.
Yeah.
That was actually like, this is the kind of thing I've been like realizing is like watching stuff by myself is just not the same because it's like you just kind of like hear it fly by and they're like, oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, that was in there, that was in there. And we actually stopped to like talk to like somebody else. And like, yeah, like I don't think people quite understand the power that there is in having just somebody else there to talk to you about what's going on.
Well,
Man, it
this
happens
is
a lot in software development. There's a concept that is known as pair programming or mob programming because it's effective. If you are with someone else looking at your code, even if that person isn't contributing to the creation part, let's say, it will point anything that you are doing wrong, and it will ask you why are you doing this or why are you doing that, and maybe you realize some things that you may not need to do or some things that you may need to do or to explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I put the next video in the playlist, so if we're ready, we can jump into it.
Alrighty then. Now, here's somebody else who decided to do a review of season 1 in 5 minutes again. Not a recap, a
Oh, God.
review.
So that's what you meant by 10 minutes? I thought they were both 10 minutes.
No,
Each.
combined, it's less than 11 minutes.
Wow.
That's why I
my
was like, maybe we should
goodness.
do all 3 videos.
That's
Well,
right. Well, the
we-
amount of context they put into it, yeah. Like,
Well,
God.
apparently this dude's whole shtick is like he binge watches stuff, right? And then based off of like
Oh.
what he thinks of it and stuff like that, he'll like kind of go over his like general opinion of the show and then either recommend it or don't recommend it.
In 5 minutes.
in
In
5
5
5
minutes.
minutes.
You
Yeah.
just basically you can't even do a summary at that point. You just have to give like your vague idea of if you think the show's good or not.
This is probably going to be
Yes.
full of subjectivity.
All right, well,
Brace yourselves.
let's jump in.
Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. Let's talk about The 100. I
Well,
watched
the
the
script
pilot
reads.
for The 100 a while ago, and then I just kind of rolled my eyes and went like this.
What is this?
And then I turned it off.
What?
So
That was kind
What
of
the
Oh,
fuck was
that's
that?
kind of like what most of you felt like.
What the hell is
now
even that?
I mean, it was
Yeah.
kind of funny, but
It was funny, and then he should have stopped.
yeah, it was funny for
Yes.
like the first clip, and then he just decided to reclip himself doing it later on.
with zooming
Like,
in.
imagine if like he was like, "Man, that sound effect I made was
See,
too short.
this is
I
why
have to make it longer."
I don't make any jokes myself when I'm editing a video. I edit little clips in
Yeah,
from
we covered Altered
from
Carbon.
movies and that kind of stuff.
Uh,
Things I know are funny.
Yes, or if maybe something from yourself, if let's say something you know that I don't know made us laugh or something that you could include, but I don't think this was true with anyone.
I mean, it kind of worked for me. I'm embarrassed to say it kind of worked for me,
No,
but I
it
do that a lot normally. Like just
I
go like just random like normally.
it
So
no cards on the table. It worked for me, but it went on a few seconds too long.
Yes,
I
We
think
took
it
a
was
good version
fine.
of Taz doing this here.
Think it's
we
it was
are
fine. He
critiquing the
shouldn't have.
joke, no problem.
Yeah, it's a joke. It worked.
Wait, I'm looking is this channel Binge Watchers?
Yes.
Yes.
Because it looks like he has a video for season 2 of season 4.
Oh no. He
Oh
also
yeah, I think he's
has
got all the other seasons too.
Altered Carbon, which I watched the first episode of that and then got turned off by it. I don't remember why.
Really?
Yeah,
first-
I
the-
watched
the-
I watched episode 1 and I was like,
The first season,
Then-
I actually really recommend the first season. Don't watch the second season; it's crap.
Like
oh,
most
I-
Netflix
I-
shows.
In fact, I tried my best. I actually watched the first episode of the second season, and it was just not
it
good.
got one punched.
No, it got
Uh-huh.
it got Anthony Mackied.
Oh,
They tried.
What the fuck is that?
Look, they tried to do better, Senator, and they didn't.
oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah,
I
it
wonder
was
what
bad.
Loki season 2
Where does
will
that
look like.
stack against this show?
Where does
I
that?
would say for artistic like
It's
visuals
really. Sorry, go ahead.
better. I would say for artistic visuals and the idea and premise and all that, I would say it's better. It's competent from like the first episode that I watched. I just was like a 14-year-old at the time when I was watching it, so I didn't really think of things critically or like I was like, if there isn't an
which show are
action
you
scene
talking
every
about?
episode, I'm a dumbass.
Altered
so I
Carbon.
could watch it.
Oh, I was comparing Winter Soldier and the Falcon to 100.
Oh,
Winter Soldier and the Falcon is they're both shit for their own reasons. Damn it.
yeah, but the reason I said Anthony Mackie is because for some reason they swapped out the main character for Anthony Mackie, and their only excuse was because the whole premise is surrounding like, oh, you can put someone else's mind in another person's body. It's like some cyberpunk shit, and
I like the original actor though.
I know, me too, and I'll be honest,
He's good.
I'd have to go back and rewatch it to give it an objective lens, but I remember it being pretty internally consistent. It was a very hot premise. I'm a big fan, like I said in the beginning, of a good science
cyberpunk.
fiction. It was a great cyberpunk premise.
Yeah, it's like if you took the idea of like base. It's been a while, so I
Yeah,
probably
it's
should
been a while
explain
since I've last seen it too. So I don't think I even finished the first season, honestly.
Man, I struggled not to binge it. I was like, I know this show is really good, so I can't. It has a Game of Thrones length of episodes, so I
Mhm.
was like, okay,
Okay.
one per night at the very
Yeah.
least, or most. Sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah. Well,
Gotcha.
Oh,
I
my
suppose
goodness.
I suppose we're not giving this fine man the attention he deserves.
We were just looking into
Us
more
go
videos
on a
and we're just like,
tangent?
oh, look, more interesting stuff.
Yes.
Let the
Well, let's
joke go
continue.
through.
Yes, Newmans. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
Forever. But then, while cruising through Reddit, I found a thread that says the 100
Oh, no.
is the darkest,
Oh, no.
most awesome, most dark show ever, and everyone should watch it.
Wow.
What? Said I? Why? It's a teen drama. featuring teens played by 30-year-old actors.
You're right.
Teens from space on a post-apocalyptic Earth, but teens nonetheless. So I
Mhm.
decided to give the 100 another try and watched season 1 in a day. Let's do this. In the
What?
100, humanity has destroyed.
Well, he is called binge watchers.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
fair
what I
enough.
expected.
That's not something to be proud of, though. How are you supposed to absorb like a show like The 100 in a day?
Imagine doing all 7
I
seasons
struggle to
on a
absorb a
single
single
weekend.
episode in a week.
That honestly, Oliver, that's impressive that you managed to watch. Like, not speaking to the quality or anything. I'm saying that you managed to just like. Did you stop for to go to the bathroom
Yeah.
I
and you
doubt it.
stopped to eat and spend time with your wife and children and pets and
Damn. How do
Well,
you?
like, this was before my son was born, so I didn't have to necessarily worry about that. And,
there you go. Okay.
you know, and then my wife just went to the other room and she started binge watching 90 Day Fiance. So we were both happy that weekend.
You guys both got your fill of drama.
Yes.
My goodness.
She likes
That's,
reality. I like sci-fi. So
Yeah.
Reality is
Altered
often
Carbon season
disappointing.
1. Speaking of
yes.
which, Altered Carbon season 1 is a really good sci-fi. Hey,
Mhm.
that
It
and
really
Blade Runner.
is.
That's
It
another
really
real good
is.
one.
All
People
right.
say
well,
Blade.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So we already know where we're starting off with. He watched the whole season in a day. He probably put out this video the same day.
Again, though, this is someone who put a 50-second intro in his 5-minute, 30-second video.
Mhm.
Fantastic.
I guess he tries to cram as much as he watches because I want to give this guy the benefit of the doubt because this is like the only video that I've seen of him.
I mean,
Why?
I don't have a very high opinion of someone who binge watches and then puts that
Yeah.
out as some form of content that he thinks would be, I don't know,
Well,
that someone would enjoy.
Well, we
also
don't
to
know
act
quite what
proud
his
of it.
opinion is yet. There's one thing I will admit about his title and stuff like that. He just put in review, and like his whole stick is, does he recommend it or does he not recommend it?
Um,
And you won't know that until you get to the end of the video.
I no, I don't necessarily have a bone to pick with someone saying like labeling a binge watch as a review. Because I'm not like super stickler about like what is a review, but what I don't really I don't know, I don't appreciate the premise to begin with of like I binge watched a show. Now
Like
listen to my opinion.
I don't really think binge watching something is something to be exactly like proud of.
That's what it,
Like
yeah, that's what I said.
to
Yeah.
make that your thing, it's like, oh,
I don't
okay.
depends. I generally I'm more critical when I binge watch something because I can see more clearly the cause and effect. Because when I watch something, unless I have someone to discuss, if I watch something one week and then the other week, sometimes I don't even think about that through the week.
Well, I mean, it's more like watching an entire season of a show that's like 7 hours of content
Mhm.
all at once. Unless you've already seen the show and know that like what's going to happen and like how you can like notice things and build it up, you aren't really going to get like everything right at the first try.
But but I'm saying like this is what separates
Depends.
this is what separates your average viewer from someone who's trying to make a review because I'm expecting to learn something about the show
That maybe you
and
didn't
if
notice
you
as an average viewer.
yeah, and so like if you're telling me you binge watch the show, I don't understand how that qualifies your opinion more than someone who actually like took the time to watch one per
Yeah,
week. Especially,
Well,
like
here would be the other
or at
question
least
too.
one per day, so you can think about it.
I can for example I can say I binge watch some animes, for example Steins Gate, and I can objectively say it doesn't worth your time for the good parts it has in it.
Yeah, that
And
makes
I
sense.
binge watched Heroic Age. I mean, it's only 24 episodes though, so it's pretty easy to do that.
I know,
yeah, Steins Gate it also has 24.
Hmm.
but here's the thing, Gothic. Like, can you? I mean, by the way, there is no wrong answer. But would you honestly binge watch Science Gate if you were making a review, or would you watch
Yes,
each
but I will
episode
do
and make
it. No,
notes?
no, 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 no. Well, I will do both probably. I will probably binge watch it few times and make notes individually uh, later.
So that's
Yeah, we'll have to
that's m-
see. We'll have to see if this um we'll have to see
If
if
I
this
want
guy
to make at
actually.
least some sort of review without making, I don't know, going in too deep, I will probably binge watch it a bunch of times.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah,
other part of
the thing
the
is that
review that you got to consider too is like, are you the kind of person where it's like the review that you want to put out is non-spoiler because you want as many people to experience it as possible
mm,
without giving away key details and stuff like that?
um
Yeah, but if I will
Or
do a critical review, yes, I will do it one episode by episode.
yeah, exactly. And so like, I guess that would be the other question too. Say like for instance, he did binge watch this, right? But his video was an hour long. How much of a difference would that make?
that
it
would
depends
make a
how.
much bigger difference to me.
Well, yeah,
Yes,
because it would
Because like
it will
show
make
that
the at least
there's
we
he.
can trust his memory that on the that hour he will explain some things.
Another
Yeah.
thing that he. The other thing is we'll have to see if by the way he like explains events if he's like seen it more than once.
Hmm.
I mean, he has seen like episode 1 twice according to this video, but
Yeah.
if he binged watched it like 3 times in the creating of this video, yeah, that's fine. But if it's like you just watch it like once and then you have your notes and then you make your video and then you just take clips, yeah, that's where I have my problem.
well, because I
Hmm.
was just gonna say before we continue, because we should, but in the example you gave, Gothic, like you binge watch it a few times. I'm guessing your video's not going to be 5 minutes long. It's gonna be
No,
probably a
Yeah.
bit longer than
no, 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 no,
that,
no.
right?
Yeah. That's just like
Probably
the biggest
I
thing
will
going against
probably
him right
if I
now.
do a 5 minute thing, I will do some sort of blurb, a no non spoilery blurb and a recommendation or not recommendation.
There are memes
That's
longer
it.
than this
It
video.
will mean uh, I will make a critical review, nor I will do a in-depth review. It will be some spoiler-free blurb.
Where it's like you give your opinion on it and what you liked and what you didn't like in vague tones, and then you
I
make a
mean,
Yes.
video
hell,
and then you
even
plug the merch.
I mean, even Critical Drinker put out a non-spoiler review for Arcane, and I think that was still like a 15-minute video.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Arcane is a large series, also. Yes,
Well,
I can
that's
see
good.
that.
There's a
so is
lot to
this.
praise without going into the plot.
Hmm.
You can
That's the
Yes.
praise the
thing.
art style, the visual
Yeah.
characters. You
Well,
can also praise the
probably I will
score,
take.
the
It
story, the plot, the characters, the writing. Like there's a lot.
depends on how much you have to praise. You can make 5 or 10 or 15. Depends on
Yeah, it
how much you have
depends.
to say.
Hmm.
It depends, but like if he was just making like a video and then he split it up, like split this video up, and this was just like the first 3 episodes or something like that, where it's just like a review of those 3 episodes and it was 5 minutes. I think that would be okay-ish, but even
It'd be
then,
better.
it's like
I wouldn't condemn that, nor one way or another. You can make some 5 minute video that is really good and maybe summarize something that
yeah,
you really like about that thing, and you may
but
give a recommendation or not. But
yeah, it's just if you
depends. That depends on the content you want to put out. There are people that only have 5 minutes to see if they're interested on something or not.
Yeah, I think it's because they're trying to
uh,
pump out as many videos as possible, trying to get as many views as possible. And I think that's like, isn't there like a whole thing where like YouTube switched up its
yeah, it's by
like
video
its
length instead of view.
number of views now?
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's
Yes, watch time.
it still goes by views, but it goes by the amount of time each of those
Yes,
views watched in
watch
Yeah,
that
time.
video.
that's probably to
Yeah.
keep people from like clicking on and off like constantly.
Well, I think there's in some corners of YouTube there were like view farms
Hmm.
where people would
Yeah,
set
because
up bots and then like
yeah,
view
because
bomb the entire
I think
video.
you only needed like 5 seconds for it to count as a view.
Yeah. So if
So
you just had a bot that just refreshed and
yeah, like
clicked a
every
new
5
view
seconds.
over and over, you could have like a million view
Yeah,
video.
exactly.
Yeah.
You will get in trending and that sort of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there
Alrighty.
are ways to exploit it.
Yeah.
Now
So
there's the new system which can be exploited slightly less.
yeah,
Yeah,
I would definitely say it makes it
Funny how
harder.
Quentin Reviews changed his tune on Long Man Bad when it no
Mm,
longer relied on clicks, it relied
well,
on
To be fair
Anytime.
to him, I don't think he was the one criticizing that. It was that was Jack Saint.
Yeah, Jack
I
Saint
thought
was
it was.
Yes.
criticizing the length of his videos because saying he was like he says a whole lot of nothing for a very long time, and that's actually where the long man bad meme came
Opposite of
from,
it.
was because of Jack Saint. I
Yes,
recently rewatched that.
Quinton
It's
Reviews.
funny.
It was another kind of
His
Quentin
bullshitter.
Review,
He was. It is a sequel if you interpret it as a sequel.
yeah.
He was that man.
his tism was there is no such thing as like art is you can't say that art is objective.
Well, Jack Saint
Objective.
now is
Yeah, that too.
he's making every once in a while he'll just drop like an hour and a half long video.
Hmm.
He made one about Fallout New Vegas. Oh, Jack Saint, what are you doing? That sounds
Anyways,
fun.
Let's
we should
continue.
probably get back to this video because he's just starting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep getting
This
sidetracked.
is,
All right,
let's
here we go.
say.
With nuclear war and 12 space stations orbiting the Earth have been joined in order to form
Ugh.
the Ark, a giant space station city that houses what's left of humanity. When the people in charge find out that the air on the Ark is about to run out, they decide to send 100 people to Earth to find out if it's still survivable. Specifically, they send 100 prisoners out of space juvie, so they're all teenagers. And because this was made for the CW, they're all ridiculously, unbelievably attractive. So the
I mean, well,
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
I agree with this.
They're all
Yeah.
kind of like high school.
At least
high,
he's
you know?
he's not lying in his review until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he's not wrong yet.
He's only
I
short.
gotta put that at the end. So
Yeah. All right then. Here we go.
someone clip that.
The 100 does something very interesting. For once, it surprises you. It has a very slow and misleading
Low misleading start.
Something
Okay,
really
that's not
interesting. For
wrong.
once, it surprises you. Here,
For once,
it's
it
on a ship.
surprises you.
Surprise.
I think every part of this shit show's a surprise, man.
Oh, that didn't last very
Yes.
long, did it? It wasn't wrong yet.
Yeah, it's literally a second later.
Yeah.
Really good. It surprises you. Surprise
I
is not
mean-
really good or bad. It's a tool.
You could say this
He
video
says it's a
surprised me.
slow start.
This
This
video
start
surprised
How
is
me.
many
insanely
surprises?
chaotic.
How many surprises do you have? I don't know. Every day that you don't want to have. Surprise! Something
I mean,
broke.
Getting shot in the knee can be a fun surprise.
He says
Yeah, that's
that.
what I'm saying. And
Oh, Jesus.
it surprises you. It's not even good or bad. It's super neutral.
Yeah, look at the box that they're holding these like wristwatch things. Did they
Yeah,
just
it's just-
have these in like a storage shed on the ship?
It honestly
forever?
looked
Yes.
to me. It just looks like a bunch of metal plates that got welded together.
And they had exactly 100 of these little metal plates specifically
It
for
seems
just
so.
a random purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say yes to everything.
Oh, it's part. It's again another issue like with the world building in this show. It's so terrible because as
Yeah.
we find out later in the first episode, Abby had just invented this tech. This is brand new. The wristbands. They had never. She specifically got together with like an engineer or whatever to build them specifically because she knew they were going to send the 100 to the ground.
In less than like
And
in
she was
like 3 days.
she was intelligent enough.
No, it was like 3
not,
months.
Yeah, but like
sorry,
we don't know
she
how
was
long.
dumb enough not to put any kind of communication device in those.
Mhm.
Yeah. We can blame Abby
Ah.
for this entire season.
You can blame everyone in the arc for everything.
Yes. You really
Yeah,
can.
it's so inconsistent because it's like on one hand we have this like extremely impressive technology that's built into these wristbands, but on the other hand we still like the GPS is not a thing anymore.
No, they can transmit your vitals, but they can transmit voice. You
also
know
can't-
what?
they
One of the
can't-
first things we figured out how to transmit voice
Yeah.
because
it
it's
wasn't-
really useful.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, before that it was just sound with Morse code, but yeah, still.
Yes.
Just an understanding.
Even then,
of
like just
something.
have like a Morse code thingy. Just go.
Yes, even that is something you can do. You can teach your fucking child how to make we are okay or we are bad in Morse code, and that's it.
Dude, have the stereotypical nerdy guy who was like, oh, they want us to translate through Morse code because he hears one of the things beeping or whatever. It's like, oh, it's Morse code, and now we can use it and we can
mean,
talk.
That
That would
still
be
sidetracks the
intelligent.
main. This still sidetracks the main issue, though. That being
Yeah.
like, the only thing that they relied on for communication was built specifically into the dropship. There wasn't any external system that they could use that they could plug into the shuttle, because we find out that like the shuttle still has power. It has lost like all its communication equipment.
Because that's
Yes.
convenient. That's why I'm saying
How
this is
convenient.
super convenient. They should have put anything on those bracelets, but no, they want to check their vitals.
They
Mhm.
straight up should have just given them like a ham radio or something that they can
Yes,
just have a
whatever.
box, and it's like, okay, here's a backup radio just in case you die or the thing explodes, whatever.
They could have
Yeah.
given them it. They could have given them equipment from the 1950s.
And it would have been more effective than
It would
this.
just take longer for the communications to reach space. That's all.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just
I
it's
would
just a
prefer that
timing
instead of
thing.
nothing.
It'd be like a 30-minute delay. No big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
better.
what
That
I
would
said.
be better, because
it-
literally 30
yes.
minutes after they drop, the entire plot, like the stupid radiation, like, oh, it's the radiation that's killing them, would be disproven, and then it also shows that the ground is sustainable. Like,
Oh yeah, no, it's like I'm on
Anyone
Read.
is
this.
stupid.
Like I was on Kane's side at the beginning of like episode 1, but by the time he brought it up again in like episode 5 or whatever it was, I was like, dude, drop it.
I think it was
He's
somewhere
like-
between arresting Abby and Cosmic Adam and Eve. I think that's where I just completely lost faith in him.
Yeah, he's just like such a villain for the plot, just because the plot wanted them to be a villain.
In the first episode, he's
Yeah,
super cartoonish.
It
he is
definitely
like
comes across as
like
the first,
super
what
Hitler. And then
what is it, like the first 4 episodes, it definitely comes across as like he is the antagonist.
Yeah.
And then like they change their minds to like, oh wait, no, actually we don't want him to be the antagonist. We want this other chick to be the antagonist.
If you went to hell and then asked Satan, yo, that Kane dude, like, did you think he got too far? And Satan would be like, yeah, bro, it's like way too far, bro. Like, whoa, man. Also, Satan's a surfer dude, bro. How's it going? How's it going?
Whereas you did that, and like my first thought went to South Park.
Yeah,
God damn it.
Mr. Satan. No, not Mr. Satan from GBZ, South Park, just Satan.
Yeah.
Ah, shit. Oh man, the coffee's hot. No, shit, the coffee's cold. They thought of everything. I messed it up. I messed up the joke. Let's move on.
Out there is so much room where babies burp and the flowers bloom.
South Park.
Yeah,
Better
Better
things.
Better
Better
things.
Better
absolutely
times.
better things.
Old thing good, new thing bad. This is the new
Yes.
thing.
Well, it's old-ish. Technically, this started before the woke crowd got to it, but the
Thank
woke
God.
crowd eventually did get to it.
Wait, there's woke stories in the.
Later.
You'll see like how
I'm
it's
gonna go float
slowly.
myself real quick.
Well, you could tell how they like slowly start introducing stuff as the show goes on,
I
and then you
mean,
get to a point where you realize that the only people that are mainly in charge are women.
damn, that's crazy.
Oh,
You
is that
know?
why everything's run so well?
Oh my goodness, it's like, haha, man bad, woman good.
Kind of.
It's
And then the
perfect.
entire galaxy gets saved by a woman.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it
She
slowly
uses her
it
chism
slowly
powers.
creeps in like once you get past 2015, 2016, which by the way, would that be season 3 when things start getting really weird? And like
Oh,
weird
AI
by the 100
stories.
standards, not weird by the normal standards.
Okay, so this is like batshit insane. Oh boy. Okay.
Well,
Back
let's-
to this.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's continue.
Very interesting.
Something
For
arc.
once, it surprises you. It has a very slow and misleading start. It does give you the impression of a teen drama made for the same audience as Twilight, but a few episodes in, when
Okay,
Also,
I
just-
no
I
no.
will not
Hold
agree
on.
with that.
I disagree. It's slow and misleading. It's the opposite
too.
of that.
It's
Yeah,
Like
it's-
it's very
it's
quick
bombastic.
and hard to comprehend.
It's extremely fast. I mean, holy shit.
You do get the general premise. You have the main character's best traits told to her.
Also, one of the things that I noticed on the back wall in Clark's room was a scorpion drawn. Why does she even know what I guess she knows what a scorpion
Yes,
is. but-
biology and shit. They probably study that, that thing.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And they're like,
Why they don't study basic survival.
No.
yeah, or group dynamics or social politics. You know, things you'd
Nah.
expect from the future, but you know.
Okay, I just looked at my script That first 3.5 minutes takes up 7 pages of my script.
Jeez. Well,
That is
you're
not a
you're
slow start.
yeah. Well, you're just a nerd. There you
Nerd, be
No,
gone.
I'm not.
go.
Dude, my mom says I'm not a nerd.
Leave me alone. Gosh.
Yeah, go sulk in your hoodie, nerd.
Pay
Give
for
me
the
your lunch
president,
money
man.
too. I want your lunch money.
Hoodies
And
are
I pick you up
comfortable.
by
I'll
your
have you
shoe.
know.
Thief.
See, oh yeah, what are you gonna do about it, dweeb?
Cope and thief.
Go code yourself a girlfriend.
My bottom loves me.
My goodness, yeah.
Anyways, let's get back to this.
People start murdering each other in ways that definitely should not be on a show made for teenagers,
What?
it
What?
gets better pretty quick. The term I
What?
heard the most
Pretty
when
quick.
reading
Murder each
about
other?
the 100 is dark. The show's so dark. You have to watch it because it's dark. It's like everything is gritty now. Like you've got
Oh, no sex matter.
Well, actually, the lighting is pretty good. I'll say that.
I
Yeah.
would say it's too good. Those lens flares, man.
Oh, that was only in the flashback.
Oh,
It's the
no.
past.
It's the past. Lens flares.
Yeah,
Pew!
flashbacks has little flare.
I open my eyes and just lasers come out, and those are the lenses. Just pew! Pew! Oh my gosh,
But what do we
I'm
think he
blinding
actually
you with
is
my lens
referring
flares.
to with the dark, the gritty? Do you think he's referring to the visuals, or do you think he's referring specifically to the tone they're going for?
Gritty because they're on the earth.
Oh no, he's definitely going for the tone.
Okay, I just want to
but-
clear that up.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that was just joking around. But yeah, he was clearly saying like everyone's saying to him, "Oh, this show is so dark and gritty and grounded." By the sounds of it, because that's
Yeah, it might be,
usually
Yep.
a word that
might be
goes
with the
along
third
with
word.
dirty and gritty.
That might be with
Dirty,
the.
gritty, disgusting,
Gritty.
smelly, toxic.
If he says
Septic.
grounded, we got problems.
Oh man, this show's so
Well,
grounded, man. It's
well-
so grounded in reality. Meanwhile,
well-
gravity doesn't work.
There is a faction called the Grounders. I don't know.
Oh shit! And then there's
Oh
the
my
mountain men.
god!
Oh my god! Oh wow!
Dawn of Justice movie is gritty. Arrow is gritty. What is gritty? Does gritty just mean like violent and desaturated colors? That's gritty. Because if
Okay, so he doesn't even know what they mean by it.
Do the
You can just
research,
look
man.
It up.
Do
You
the
can just
do a
look it up
Google
in the,
search.
Like, Oxford Dictionary.
And the
you'll
very
find
first
what
one
they
that he
mean.
the very first reference he goes to is Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, Dawn of Justice.
Extremely violent
the
and
worst.
desaturated colors. That's what he thinks gritty is.
Just put this
It's so
isn't
dour
it's
as
not
well.
hard.
I mean, would you consider the 100 dour?
Um,
I think it's aside
think
from some of the murders, it is pretty lighthearted.
Yeah, and then there's like, and then you clash that with like Kane saying he'll kill everyone down to a cosmic Adam and Eve and defeat all of his enemies. And
We
then,
are not grounders.
And then
yeah. Bum 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 bum.
wow, 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 wow.
Insert Batman music.
Yeah.
I said Batman, not Batwoman.
My bad.
I'm actually specifically thinking that intro from Dawn of Justice.
Yeah, where it's
I think
like,
that's where Victor was going with that too.
yeah, that's what he's going for. Just imagine Batman watching this show.
I
and he
can't.
just-
I can't.
he-
I
he
can't
gets
help it
scared,
if-
and then the fear demons.
I can't help it if it's done better in the new Batman movie.
I can't help it's done better in the good one.
Yes,
I mean, they did
In
have a
air
bigger
quotes,
budget.
that is true.
It is
And
giving
they
him-
had Zack Snyder behind it.
See
That's
what
not
I
much of
see.
a praise.
If you put big budget, it becomes better.
Well, that
Star Wars
technically-
learns this.
Well, I mean, not for nothing though. Aside from one particular song, the 100 does have a good soundtrack.
Yeah, they literally
just
have a
don't-
Batwoman fight scene song though.
Do they?
Yeah, they do.
When?
In one of the fight, in one of the ground, I think it was like during the grounder attack on the bridge. They do like dun, 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 dun,
Yes,
dun, dun, dun. They literally have that exact
they
like.
have the same
I'm gonna have
progression.
to re-listen to that because I didn't find it
that
nearly as
that's
bad
Oh
as
yeah,
that one.
and one moment I don't know where, but it's mentioned in chat.
Yeah, it was episode.
I think it was episode 8 when they blew
Yeah,
up the
it was
bridge, 8 or 9.
when they blew up the bridge, and then I'm just looking back on. uh, looking back on
That was
her.
episode 10, actually.
Yeah, it was. Goodness.
Well, let's continue.
If it is, then this is pretty gritty. Pretty gritty. But going back to being dark, because no one understands me because I'm so dark. The 100 does get pretty dark at times. They do kind of go full Lord of the Flies at some point. So when I say dark, I mean in
Well,
terms of
I had the
violence,
same
but more
opinion.
interestingly, in terms of moral choices that these kids have to make. They are supposed to be kids, so that was a part of the show that I liked a lot. Seeing
Okay, so specifically because they're
Uh-huh.
supposed to be kids and they have to face these moral dilemmas is what he classifies as dark and gritty specifically, and that's what intrigued him the most about the show. So it kind of lines up with what you were saying in Gothic. Is just difference being is that he seems to be praising it, where you were saying it was like I could see what you were trying to do here, but you just did it poorly.
Yes,
I'd expect.
pretty much. Also, suddenly they were all uh, almost adults, let's say, because yes, they are teenagers, but they are all I don't know 17 for
No.
some reason.
Well,
Except
see,
one or
Well,
two,
that's plot
they show
relevant.
everyone being
They're like, well, they are 17, don't you see? Because that's why they're not all dead for their crimes.
no.
It makes
yeah, I know,
sense.
but there should be a lot of 15s, 14s,
Oh yeah, it should definitely be
etc.
There's
a
one
wider
14-year
margin.
old and she kills Wells and jumps off a cliff.
Yeah, it's the most dangerous 14-year-old you can have for some reason.
I can't
Yeah.
believe I clapped
14-year-old.
while watching a girl die on screen. That was. I really hated that character a lot. I guess. Huh?
I don't
guess
feel
so.
I don't feel one bit. I didn't lose one
Well,
bit of sleep over clapping. I actually was disappointed that that to me was getting away with it.
Yeah.
Well, what I was trying to say, by the way, yes, they went, as he said, they went full Lord of the Flies in some occasions, but all of the Flies were even younger children, so they have more justification, let's say.
Like the
Mhm.
oldest person in the Lord of the Flies was like 13, weren't they?
Yes, that was what I'm saying. It's okay on that side because yes, they don't know nothing.
Yeah.
These
Like.
people are in an advanced society at almost 18.
Oh,
Well,
wait until
he.
you see that they've actually like been to classes and stuff like that for like Earth survival skills and all this other fun stuff, and it's like them
Why
trying to explain it.
but why would they do that when they had them clueless in the first season?
Yes.
Why would they
Their
do that?
response for that is that nobody ever paid attention to class except for Clark.
Oh, because yes, she's the
What?
least of the retardeds.
Oh my
Mhm.
god, that's just hand waving.
That's just
Yeah,
worse.
it's
If
like
they
why
just
even introduce it
didn't.
in the first place?
It like it would be much better. It's still bad, but it's much better if they just never learned anything than to have oh well not like no one. You're telling me Jasper didn't pay attention in class, the
Monty,
chemist, what about
Monty
Raven?
didn't.
fucking
What about
Monty.
Monty? Yeah, you're right.
Those
Monty
those
should have been my first
specifically
example.
Earth skills they didn't pay attention to.
I don't care. It's the
Yeah.
personality that I'm talking about, not
Oh yeah,
necessarily
yeah,
the
It's
skill.
not like our
And you're talking
survival
about
is
you're
built on
talking
that.
about 100 people. You're telling me 99 didn't pay any attention to it.
yeah. But oh, by
Uh,
the way, when that comes up, I think it's in season 3. That was about the
wow.
point where I was like, okay, yeah, Clark is definitely a Mary Sue. Doesn't matter how many people
Yeah.
hate her, she is a Mary Sue.
He is a Mary Sue.
She's something, all right.
The thing is, people will like hate her in air quotes, but they won't do anything about it.
Oh yeah, no, they'll just keep telling her like how bad of a person that she is for
You're
making the
worse
moral
than your
decisions that she
mother,
makes.
Clark.
Oh, but we didn't even get to that. How
Releases him.
Abby is the reason this whole show is even happening.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, Abby sold out her own husbands and then sent down her daughter to maybe die.
Yeah.
Like for all she knew, she just killed off both her her entire family.
Yeah. Maybe Kane should have just sent her into space in episode 1.
Yep,
She obviously has no
it was a
morals
favor to
at all.
society.
Even though earlier in that same episode, she was like, I'm the person that makes sure that we deserve to live, not that we managed to get to that point
And
with
then
Kane
she
and stuff. Because Kane is like, I will
literally
follow the law to the T, and if I'll do whatever it takes to make sure that humanity survives. She's like, that's the difference between us. I make sure that we deserve it. It's like,
Just you saying that triggers me.
mhm.
This is why Abby gets her own tier.
Well, the thing is that
Oh,
the thing is with like law absolutism, where it comes to like staying down to the letter of the law. Yeah, the law is completely retarded. First of all, you do a crime, even no matter how petty, and you like just die. That's stupid. But going in with those confines or
yeah, there
whatever.
would be, you would think there's tiers at least,
Yeah,
depending on the severity.
Kane, I would say, despite being obviously seen as a villain in that, he's doing his job as the council member.
Yeah,
Because if if the law has been like this for what like 90 years,
100 years. Yeah.
almost 100 years, and then suddenly he's making exceptions now, what would that do to everyone else when they're watching that?
Mhm,
Everyone would be like, well, what's the
Yeah,
point of the law if
it
I can just do
feels
whatever?
mhm.
it feels really really unjust. Okay, what about the people who didn't deserve to die and died?
Well, yeah, especially because like now you
Yeah, it
got an
throws
optics
everything into
problem.
question at that point. Yeah.
Well, because like
Yes.
it even makes things worse as we find out later, because now it's an optics problem because she's not only like the lead medical officer, but she is also the council, like one of the lead councilmen. So now
Mm-hmm.
it's and like they made the whole deal where it's like the councilmen, like these people in higher positions and stuff like that, they get like this extra like special treatment compared to everybody that's under them. And if they find out like that she pretty much escaped being floated, to use their phrase, like
Mm-hmm.
just because of the fact like they needed a doctor or something
Yeah.
like that, it's like
Like if
tell me
it
how there's not special privileges for the higher
yeah,
class.
like it's like they tried to do like the higher class get privileges thing. But like I'm just sitting here wondering like why hasn't there been like a revolution? Like how have these people not been all killed if it's been like this for forever? Like if the higher class has been like getting away with like petty like breaking of the law and stuff like that, like
Hmm.
this, how has there not been a like revolution or like a
Yeah.
like splinter cell of the people who don't believe in the council and they're basically running their
Also,
own government on another part of the arc?
Well, it's
also
like
taking into account taking into account there is a black market. I think firepower is accessible to anyone. Then
Yeah, so like how has there not been like an armed revolt on this place in the 190, okay, it was 97, but they came
yeah,
together in like 4 years after the world event. So like in like the 93
we'll just say 100
years,
years, man. Just say 100 years.
I want to be specific.
No, it's stupid. Just say 100 years.
In 100
everything
years.
is a hundred. Is a hundred.
They specifically said 97 years because they didn't want to say it was been exactly 100 years since the bombs fell.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why they did it.
The thing is,
It's 100
like,
years.
I would just rate it to be 100 years, and we
Yeah.
wouldn't have to, because that would be cool.
It's like, ain't that a little contrived though? It's like, no, fuck off. It's 100 years.
No, fuck off. It's 100 years. That's when the time is happening. Shut up. And
Yeah,
Let's not focus on one individual thing as contrived. There's if you want to do that, then this video
we're gonna have to hit.
becomes an hour long.
very long. Very,
Yeah. Well,
very long.
the thing is that what I was saying while you're gone was basically like, how has there not been like an armed revolt before, like,
This
the
all happening.
events of this story? Because
Well,
if the council members have been getting special treatment and getting away with like petty crimes and stuff like this,
Yeah, you would think there'd be a
like
hell of
how
a
has
lot
there
more
not been like an
issues.
armed revolt or people like stopped believing in the council like
That's-
Well, that's the
forever
other thing.
ago?
That's the other thing too. It's like we don't know like if Abby has just been the only exception because she's like the only medical officer left.
Yeah.
Well,
Because like we find out later that she has one guy that's learning under her.
yeah, a person.
like many of these issues, a lot of them are fundamentally world building issues. Like, well,
Exactly.
why isn't everyone armed? Has this been established as a dictatorship
Mhm.
from the
Also,
start?
also, like apparently
man,
it's an electoral thing. But the thing is, why
even
hasn't anyone taken advantage of that and basically like made a party system and then just
Yeah.
have one party in the elected positions the entire time?
not only
Mhm.
that, Victor, if they want an armed revolt, remember there's a fucking black market, so there should be accessory firepower.
Yeah.
That has so many like that, but just having a black market has so many implications about your society.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh
And
yeah.
a
It's like what the hell
revolution
are they
is
trading?
possible because you can pay enough to have weapons.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing too. It's like what the hell are they trading on the black market?
It's like, am I supposed to be
The
people are
only
getting
the
paid?
only thing that I could even think
Morphine,
of, yeah, the only thing I could think of that would make sense on the black market would be drugs.
drugs, and I don't know.
But the problem
Is there
is like
slavery on
we
the
are
ark?
talking
I don't
about like,
know. Like,
well, that's the other thing too. Is like we're talking about something that it would be extremely difficult to get to because you would probably have a very limited supply of it.
I mean,
Well,
unless there's like
Raven
something
wasn't.
in well, the plants that are growing in the biological area. Monty mentions that there's like weed and stuff and
Mhm.
like poppies and stuff like that being grown there. So I guess there could be a source for that. But then when
Yeah,
people like it's-
but they
Is
get
it me
arrested
or
for not replacing
didn't
what they took.
Raven sold her body on the black market as a prostitute, or there was
No,
an
That no,
implication?
no, that was
they wanted her
Bellamy's
to.
mother, right?
yeah,
Oh,
she
okay.
sold
Yeah,
herself on the
Bellamy's
black market because she didn't
no
have anything
No, it
else.
was Raven's mother who sold herself on the black market. Bellamy's mother sold herself to the head of security so she would know when the random inspections were.
Yeah, and then Bellamy fucked it up.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
but
so
what I'm
make fun
trying
of my
to say
past
is, I
life,
think,
though.
or maybe I got it wrong. The Raven, when she went to the black market, there
Mhm.
was an implication that if you do this, you will get what you want, and this, it was her selling herself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Also,
exactly.
like,
But like she ended the conversation. It's like, your mother used
I
to
no
do
no
this
no.
all the
Yes,
time.
what I'm trying to say is there's at least we know that they sell, I don't know, prostitution in the black
Oh
there's
yeah,
market,
also
which
another
is
so you
like,
can
thing.
get guns by prostituting
well,
yourself.
see,
Yeah, I
like
guess.
that actually that would actually probably make more sense as it being
No.
a rarity on the ship because you would think, especially with how strict they are about the one child rule, they would probably be really strict about just general casual sex on the ship.
You would think, yeah, you would think, but
course.
like, they're they're just like,
Then again, though, in a
this.
society like this, if like
Why doesn't
they,
she just go get an abortion then? Like, it's
well, it should be one of the safest processes possible at this level of technology. Not to mention
Mhm.
that there should be like the birth control should be so advanced that like who knows, maybe it is completely safe to have sex with anyone. Well,
yeah, that's
I'm
the
pretty
thing.
sure
It's just like,
STDs would be a thing of the past.
Yeah, because
yeah,
it all
we
probably got purged
figured
on
it
Earth
out.
unless somebody on the station had it to begin with
Yeah.
back
Yeah,
a hundred
but
years
like,
ago. Which I don't think even would be happening because even 30 years from now, I highly doubt they're gonna let somebody with that kind of disease onto a spaceship.
yeah, they'll be
No,
like, no,
no,
you have
but no,
AIDS,
like,
die.
but I'm saying all of the advances in our medical science at the point that they all were put in the arc, that would be at a level where that just there wouldn't that wouldn't be an issue.
Another thing
Yeah,
that I wanted
the
to bring
understanding of
up
the
is that
technology in this world is very, very hard to keep track of.
Yeah.
yeah, another thing that I wanted to bring up is that like firstly, how is there not anyone like taking power at all? Because that's just human nature. Human like if a human wants to lead other humans and they're driven enough to do it, they'll figure out a way and knock anyone else down and out of the way
Mhm.
to get to that power. Like how have we not have like a dictatorship or anything during this thing? It's just always been an electoral council and everything's been in peace.
Especially with the mindset of someone like Kane. You'd
Yeah,
think.
Yeah.
Kane is like a cosmic Adam and Eve. That's like Hitler speak right there.
Well,
Like
Kane actually probably makes this even more complicated before Diana shows up because we don't get the confirmation that to become a chancellor you have to get elected in until Diana shows up. So we're pretty much under the impression
That's
that
what I
it's
thought.
like
Yeah.
is a promotional system before that ever happens. So like if Kane gets rid of Jaha, he's the next in line to become chancellor.
Yeah, but then
But
they
now it's
bring
like
in the
now
fact
that
that you have to be elected in
yeah,
by
so
the
now there's
surviving
like a whole
members.
other issue because now it's like, okay, well, if Kane, even if Kane got rid of Jaha, what's to say that he's going to get elected into office next?
What if like the console just gets killed and they just all die? And
Mhm.
then the guy who like got them killed was like, "Okay, so they all elected me into power right before they died." You won't know because there isn't like a recording, all the recording's been destroyed.
Mhm.
But you're gonna have to go off my word, and I'm the only one who is like kind of there.
Mhm.
Um,
Well, then there would be
if
a
you disagree with me,
referendum.
you're gonna float. You're gonna get floated, by the way. And I have the army on my side, so I'm a dictator
Well,
now.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
kind of what Diana does.
yeah,
Yeah, but no, Diana
She's
does
got
it in
control
like
of the security force somehow.
this is why
somehow.
this is something I was going to bring up as well. Was like, did I miss something, or are the council members also elected? Because it seems like they just appointed her.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
definitely seems like they just appointed her.
Like
like
I don't.
that's straight dictatorship logic.
I feel
Yeah,
the thing is that like
Yeah.
the way that they're like they say they're elected, but the council members can just basically get any random Joe to be in the council if they have something that the council members need. So
the
the
way it
system's
almost
like
comes across.
fundamentally flawed for exploitation,
The
like
only thing I
from the
could think
get
of,
go, and like within 10 years, there would have been something that happens where it's like a
yeah,
dictatorship.
the only thing that I could think of based off of what the show has shown us would be that you have to elect your chancellor, and then from there he elects his appointees, which would be
Mm.
the council members,
Also,
and there's 4 of them, I
another
think.
thing, another thing. I just want to point this out. I don't really want to go too far into it because we need to get back
It's
to
a
the
whole
video.
other, yeah, it's a whole other tangent.
But another thing I wanted to point out was the cultural stagnation of the arc. Like, there's no new religions besides the weird tree thing about inner peace, which is just basically Buddhism. Then there's no like it's basically like if you took like like just people from like America today and then just slapped them on an arc. Like there's no like culture almost.
Welcome to
There's still
America.
Yeah,
massive parties. There's
it
still
doesn't feel
casual
like an
sex.
international assembly of
Yeah,
space stations.
that would be the biggest contention there is that it's supposed to be made up of 12 different nations.
Like you think there'd be
Yeah.
like people who like devoutly follow like a religion or like there's some kind of like systematical like anything. We get hints of it here and there, but we don't get any like definitive like what's the culture of the arc.
Yeah,
Where's
no,
the
that's like
where are the children of Adam?
No, that's a dog shit example. That's like the worst example.
Look, all right. In this show, I wouldn't it wouldn't surprise me.
Where's like a random spin-off of Christianity? Because that's a pretty popular religion. Like, where's the random spin-off of that? Where it's like this weird, like either like extremist pacifist or extremist or whatever,
Or
or
where
just even just a religion.
yes, even our religions, you can show at least 4 or 5 religions uh, trying to meld in the arc because there are, as we said, 12
Yeah.
different nations there.
What if you
Probably the
took
12 different nations have at least
yeah?
5 or 6 different religions.
What if you took like the like spiritualism of Japan and then mixed it with like I don't know, shit, let me think. He
well,
mixed it with like
now
some
you
shit
got to
like
get into the details
Scientology
of like who
and
would be the 12
Christianity.
nations most likely to get, space stations put up there. So
Well,
it'd
it's
be
like
like
it's shown with the
America,
flags. Can't it's America, Japan, Germany,
Canada.
Russia, Canada, um,
China's probably on there.
China. Yeah, definitely. I think it was like one random African nation. It was like
Nigeria.
South Africa or like Egypt or something.
Mm.
Australia maybe.
Australia,
Eric,
maybe.
yeah. I'm
Obviously,
just gonna
like
look
the
it up. I'm
UK,
looking it up.
France, Spain, those would be contenders. Oh,
But yeah, there should be at least more languages, more religions,
oh yeah,
more different people. And ironically, the arc should be really diverse.
oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
it is pretty diverse. Like that, I don't think we have an issue with though.
Okay, so I
We
found
just don't have a
the
diversity in like
Yes, but they no.
accents,
I
languages.
say diversity in the whole package, not only
like
diversity of skins and body types. No, I mean culturally.
So
Yeah.
I found there's a really weird one that sticks out to me when I'm looking at the list of the countries. So
Mhm.
we got Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, India, Japan, Russia, United Kingdom, United States, Venezuela, and Uganda.
Venezuela
Uganda.
and
And
Uganda.
and Uganda. Like those last two, they're just like, just throw a dart. Like,
Yes. Yes, pretty much.
and
We've run-
technically,
Even at
and,
the
We've
and
run
well,
out of
because
technically, the
at the
United
time,
States was technically United States was two
maybe
because one
because at the
was
time
Alpha Station, the
Venezuela
other one was the International
was
Space Station.
at the time Venezuela was pretty popular because it was a good socialist country until well, oil production went to shit.
Yeah, you're probably right
Mhm.
about that. The dates line up there.
Yep.
2014 was right before they all completely went to shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh boy.
And each space station split up into a separate function on the. I'm not going to go into that.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah. Each one had its own specialty and stuff. Is you would think there would almost be a culture based around that even.
like,
But
what if there was like a culture who believed the engine was like some kind of god that's like kept them alive?
I
Like,
think that would take more than
Me-
100 years for that to develop.
yeah. I mean,
No, yeah,
out
it
of
should be something
out of
that you need
desperation
to.
comes fanaticism.
No, I know,
And
but
that's
those develop when the original people that did those the space station are dead for like
fair enough.
200 years,
Yeah, fair
and
enough. That was a bad
there you
one. I
can
didn't like
say
that though.
it will take that long because it's when you get a civilization that doesn't know how the older things work that you get those type of religions.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's a good point.
Yeah, no, and pretty much in this show, it comes across as like any real world religion has been just completely cut out and then injected with their own artificial religions. I know that's an oxymoron, but anyways,
The thing is, I don't even know if there's like the weird Buddhist peace thing with the little bonsai tree
well,
that Kane's mom
they
believed
are
in and
specifically
followed.
praising the ground, the earth. If anything, it'd be more pagan.
Yeah, which that's cool. I kind of wish we got more of that. And
Yeah,
how
and you
those
just see that
how
it's a very small group.
like what if one of the council members was like a hardcore believer of that, and like going to the ground was much more of like a sacred like you know it was like the ultimate like sacred thing of like basically like going back to Gia.
Hmm. We haven't even been introduced to the Grounders religion yet.
I want to see what kind of paganism they have.
I said it in the chat, but I think the grounders are the true children of Adam.
Yes, they worshipped the atomic fire. Let Adam's light flow through you. Let the radiation burn the water beneath you.
Well,
Well, they do worship a certain thing that may technically be linked with something to do with radiation.
I was
but
just joking.
I was just they're they
I was just
unironically are the
joking.
children.
I
They're
mean that in like
unironically the children of Adam.
I mean
No.
that in like the vaguest connection possible.
Okay.
I mean,
They honor what they refer to as night bloods, and specifically
to be
only
honest,
night bloods could become the leaders of their organization or
to,
their entire
from
clan.
what I know, from what I've been told by you and what we saw in that synopsis of the show, like I'd believe if they just had some fanatical religious group. Like, just think about what happens in the show.
Mhm. So
Just
that's the thing. Yeah, they treat it as it's weird, like how differently the religion is for the Grounders compared to like any kind of like resemblance of religion that's up on the Ark. Because like it's almost like because the world got completely wiped out, they just started from scratch all over again
Yeah.
on like across the board on everything, and they did it inside
Mm.
of 100 years instead of
It's
it
like
being
they
like.
returned to Unga Bunga.
Well, I mean, really, the best way to put it is like a slightly more advanced version of like Vikings or just barbarians from the UK in general, as
Yeah. They
about
remind
the
me of like
equivalent.
the Mongols straight up. That's just how nomadic Mongols that wander around and kill anything that isn't them.
Hmm.
And
Yeah, that's actually really accurate because they do it even amongst themselves.
yeah,
If you're not a part of my tribe, I kill you.
yeah, like what kind of
but we have a code here. It's got to be an honorable death.
Yeah, and then the mountain man is just like, oh, you do it, it's fine. We
Mhm.
can't talk to starfish, we're scared. Ooh.
And
In 100
yeah,
years, we
that's
haven't
just
figured
straight
out
up
a cure.
a copycat of a Viking.
Yeah. And it's like,
With their
you
own
know,
language,
instead
their
of
own
instead
language.
of like, you could try to at least assimilate the grounders. So you could, whatever,
You
whatever.
can
We're going
you
into
can farm
speculation about
them
the show
if you
now.
want. If you only need their blood, you can farm them.
You
That's
need
kind of
to
what they
you need to
do.
figure out
Inhuman.
the.
That's it may sound.
That's kind of what they do. You'll see when we get to it.
No, but I
Uh,
mean, farm them without them making chaos on the surface.
Yeah, just like literally just be like, all right, so we're going to teach you what a blood donation is. Today, I'm going to stick a needle into your arm and take your blood. It will be safe because I have sanitized the needle.
We can
You will be
civilize
fine.
you. We can assimilate you into our culture, or you are dead, and
You
we'll
can be
farm you for your organs.
You can be civilized. We can
Or die.
either have you join us and you can learn our ways, or we we just fucking kill you.
Well, I
Yes.
think the
Your
only way
choice,
that
by
that
the
would
way.
work is they would have to do that really early on, before like the grounders got set in their ways.
Oh, and the
Yes.
grounders are just not willing to change ever, huh?
Pretty much.
Well,
Wow.
but
that's
really
little-
early on, it's a good state to do it.
I mean,
Yeah,
think about how many wars have been fought over the fact that your culture is being changed.
So, let's say
Yeah.
why not do it early on? Why wait 100 years to
That's the
make
that's the
everything?
problem with more world building. We don't know why they
We just
didn't do
don't
it
know
earlier.
why. They just did
Yes.
it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because reasons. Let's get back to this show. This is a summary.
Yeah, we've
we've
definitely been on a hell of a tangent for a
Yes.
5-minute video.
I've been
That
enjoying
was like a
it.
20-minute tangent about world building and us basically
Yes.
roasting the shit out of the show about it.
Yeah, because it's its biggest problem.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it just
here we go.
doesn't
Yeah.
Hit
do
and
it.
play. Hit and
Let's-
play. Here we
let's
go.
play.
Here we go.
Dark, I mean, in terms of violence, but more interestingly, in terms of moral choices that these kids have to make. They are supposed to be kids, so that was a part of the show that I liked a lot. Seeing them deal with decisions and situations that people their age should not ever be in a position to make. And obviously, there is drama and there are like love triangles and stuff like that, but that's
Okay,
Sorry,
so-
he is first. No kid in that position should be in a position to make that moral choice or not. That you're talking from a really privileged position. Maybe 50 years ago you will be in that position at that age. Maybe in another country you are in a position at that age. It's
Also, he's just wrong because this isn't taking place in our time. This is taking place
Yes.
in a post-apocalypse.
Yeah, where it's like everybody has to make their own vital choices.
That's why this is a
Yes.
fundamental issue with the characters because they are just acting like they were plucked from our time, and then they were put into a video game simulation of these
not
events.
even from our
not
time.
real.
Not even from our time, from first world or time.
yeah. Also,
I was saying like maybe early 2000s, but
No,
It's
but
insane.
but I'm saying like I don't even
Civilized
have,
society.
I don't I have more faith in people like selfish, arrogant teenagers from our time because if they were put in the shit, eventually they would either adapt or die. They wouldn't
yeah.
be like, oh man, I'm gonna treat you like a shithead. It's like, no, guys, shit is real. That's why I said
you're
like,
making out with my
excuse me,
boyfriends.
excuse me, you got to call me by my pronouns.
yeah.
I don't
Unironically,
wanna
if this
think
was
about
made
it.
in 2020, you'd have these assholes saying like, "Excuse me, I am actually a man." All right.
Beer in your
I don't know
And
why I'm
that's when
doing it.
Bellamy would shoot them for
Mhm.
Yes.
for basically
Bellamy
just
should have
being
killed someone in the first
insane.
episode.
Bellamy should have.
Actually, he should have killed Wells. He should have killed Wells.
He should have killed Wells because Wells could be like, "You're the one who shot my father," and then they could have like a character conflict. Ooh, crazy.
Well,
Ooh, they love
well, how-
drama, don't they? They
How,
would love
how,
that.
how about this? Wells is clearly trying to undermine his authority at every turn. So is Clark. So like one of
Yeah.
them has to die in the first episode if he
Yeah,
wants to keep
and
his
then that could be-
authority.
And that could be like Bellamy basically like putting himself as leader, and he's like, "Look, I got the big stick."
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
literally
that's
has
what
the
he
big
does 'cause he's
stick.
the only. He's the
Yeah,
only
he
one with a
literally
gun.
beats in Wells' head. You know that scene in The Walking Dead with Negan when they first
Yes.
meet him? Literally
Great scene.
that. Just do that. Just have Bellamy. I know we're making Bellamy out to be like the worst person,
Yeah,
but
I was
like
just
this
I
is
was
the
gonna
kind
go
of
the
stuff that you
completely
kind of
opposite
have to
direction with
do if
Bellamy.
you're establishing a society in a post-apocalypse. You have to
No,
have the guy with the big dick, you know?
I was gonna say at this point we're not even describing Bellamy. We're describing what he should have been.
Yeah,
See, I
we
was gonna go in the completely opposite direction because his whole primary focus, the whole reason that he's even there, is to protect Octavia. That doesn't mean in turn I now have to build a society. That means how can I,
well, I
like
mean,
what can I do to
wouldn't it
best
be
protect
easier to
Octavia? Because she pretty much
Mhm.
fucks off and does whatever the hell she wants. Like for most of the season, he doesn't care until like 1 or 2 episodes.
Yeah, and that's a writing issue. Because if wouldn't it be wouldn't it be easier if instead of basically you having to watch for Octavia all the time, you had like 8 guys loaded with weapons watching her at all times instead. Think
Yeah,
about it. If
but
you have an entire
okay,
society that's like under your thumb
okay, but
and you
how about
want
this
someone to
one
be
then?
protected, that person's going to be protected, or else those people who are protecting her aren't getting food.
Okay, well, how about this one then? How about we moved it to after they find out there's grounders? Because beforehand
I would still
they
say
still
he would
think they're
want
the
to take the
only
initiative because
well, they still think they're the only people there when he
I
still,
starts
this is
doing
just
this.
this a pecking
But
order has to be
as
instructive.
far
That's
as
just
as
how
far
human
as he
nature
knows,
works.
they are completely alone. There's nobody else there but them.
That doesn't
That they
matter.
think that they have free reign. That's why he says, "Do whatever the hell you want."
Yeah, but after a while, a pecking order will be
He has,
instated, and that just
and
doesn't
it's not even
happen.
his choice. It was Clark. He didn't. His whole motivation for doing it. The only thing that goes for that is because he's like Clark just lets like somehow has the information that the wristbands are the only thing that is going to tell the Ark that they're alive.
here's
And
the
like
thing.
he is more worried about saving his own ass than doing what he was meant to do. Like the whole is for his whole motivation to go into the ground.
Okay, so here's my case for why Bellamy would become a leader. He is established as someone who already takes the initiative because of his like whole reason he's here is because he decided to kill the chancellor. Now we don't know why at that time,
Hmm.
but he is clearly someone who is willing to act and someone and take risks. So at that time, we don't know that he's been pressured into doing this, but even someone who's pressured into doing something could have easily folded under pressure. So when he's
Yeah.
put
Even
in a
then,
situation where the pecking order of a new society has not been established and he has someone he needs to protect, that is enough motivation for him to take the initiative. He also has a gun. So I don't see it as an unlikely scenario at the very least that he would try and establish himself at the very least as someone at the top of the echelon.
I don't know. Maybe I just think of things differently. It'd be like because like especially where like his whole ordeal is like they're all criminals. You can't trust them and everything else like that. Definitely would come across more as like we need to get the fuck out of Dodge right
yeah.
now.
Well,
I
here's
came
the
down here
thing.
to
But
protect you.
Well,
can
We
I
need
here's
to.
can
the
I
thing: is that if he was so concerned about, like, literally right away, he was like, "Yo, the people on the Ark, they want me dead, right?" He builds a society to defend himself against the people on the Ark. That's like he's a very driven person. He's not going to just fuck off and run away like a little bitch like Octavia does because he's not shown to do that in his character besides the one time where he literally was going to be imprisoned and trapped on a ship, which at that point that's just stupid if he stays on the Ark cuz people know it's him that shot the
Okay,
chancellor.
so okay, well, excuse me. So we replay the scenario being that like Bellamy, instead of shooting the Chancellor, right,
Sure.
actually confronts the Chancellor and like tells him everything that's going on because he has 20 minutes before the thing launches, right? He can negotiate with the Chancellor to get his sister off the shuttle.
Does he do that?
No, that's my point being here is like we're like building conjecture here. Based off of what his motivation is, I don't necessarily see him automatically going into a leadership role because his whole focus is strictly protecting Octavia, which he doesn't do. That's my problem with him.
Hmm. I definitely see where you're coming from.
I see where you're coming from. I just disagree because it's more of a human nature thing, not if it's in character for him.
If it's me, I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. But that's also because I know I'm a flight, not fight kind of person.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is that
So maybe
Bellamy
that's
is
where I'm
so flip
having the
floppy on
disconnect.
whether or not he's fight or flight that we can't even make a damn distinction.
Yeah. It's like that's my biggest issue with him, and it's like another reason why his character is so wasted because like we get all these moments where it's like you think he's gonna like grow from something, and then it's either given up to another character completely or it's contrived as fuck for how he grew.
That or he doesn't grow at all, and Octavia just strips that away from him like a
Yeah,
second out in like the next scene.
exactly. Hell,
Like, uh, I still think that if this was happening, the whole pecking order thing would come around with whoever character it is. It would probably be Murphy who would be the at the top of
on
the
it.
pecking order most
Well, quite
likely.
honestly, without Bellamy and Octavia coaxing on the whole like let the privilege do some work and stuff like that, it probably would have been Clark and Wells in charge.
Yeah,
They would have
because
automatically
everyone else
fell
is
in
a
line
sheep.
because they are the top dogs even back on the arc. Everybody would listen to them because it's like, well, your parents knew what to do. You guys must know what to do.
Yeah, as much as
Yeah.
I like Murphy, I don't see him in a leader position.
No, actually, if
No.
That is
anything,
just
there's a good
wishful
chance that
thinking on my
Murphy.
side.
Yeah, I understand, but yeah, I think we're just letting our bias seep in there.
Yeah.
I'm just allowing my bias seep in because I like Murphy as a character and I think he's cool. And I want to see him I want to see him be a badass. And
Nah, I wouldn't hold on to that.
Oh, they beat the
hey, I
shit
mean
out of Murphy in this show.
this season ending.
They
He was
probably
doing
just beat
kind of
him like
good.
a dog.
A lot.
hmm
And just when you think he's getting out of that position, he gets beaten down again.
Yeah, they don't
Because
give
there'll be
him a
moments
chance
where
to
he's like
grow.
getting accepted into the fold, and he's getting, like people are starting to forgive him, and then they throw him under the bus again because he's an easy pawn to throw around.
And then it's like, oh, Murphy, he burned down the meat shack. And it's like, no. He was like literally agreeing with Octavia, and everyone agrees with Octavia
Hmm.
now. Besides that one guy who's a dipshit and burned it.
Yeah, yeah, he burnt it down on accident out of spite,
I like to think he did it on purpose.
which we
that's
completely blew over that too. By the way, that they
that
burnt
wait.
all of their remaining food supply, pretty much because some dude was pissed off that she pounded a grounder instead of him.
Yeah.
He wanted some of that putang, you know?
Hmm.
Again, these characters are not representative of the time and the setting that they're
These
in.
Yeah,
aren't
no, no, no.
humans.
It's another huge problem with the show.
They're
They do not
aliens.
act the way that they should.
Maybe it's the oxygen deprivation. They just didn't have enough oxygen for like 20 years
No,
too
no, you
early.
see, those are the effects of radiation.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
my god.
Rue, big brain. Oh holy shit.
We
You
haven't even
see,
gotten there yet.
radiation just doesn't work like it does in our world. It actually makes you into a retard.
It's just like
Yes.
it's
It
like a
I'm
makes you
sorry.
grow
disease in this
chromosomes.
version, and it annoys the shit out of me because I like learning about radiation, and I'm just like I'm an armchair radiologist, and just sitting here and I'm like,
Cherry
no,
Royalty.
no, 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 just no, just stop show. This is not read a book. God damn it.
Yeah, they have definitely bent what radiation is in this world,
Watch
to
a
say the
YouTube
least.
video.
Anyways, Mr. Newman, I'm sorry we've been interrupting. Let's continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
love triangles and stuff like that, but that's actually kind of okay because I mean these are young hormonal people that have been locked up in space juvie for a while. If you ever been to high school, you know that there's gonna be drama.
If you've ever been to high school in the
Okay.
post-apocalypse on a space station,
In
what
cells.
stop making this point. This is not
It's
the
not the
modern
point.
this
I
is
can
not
understand.
this is not a high school drama in modern
Yeah, I can
day.
understand the hormonal swings because I mean that's just a biological fact of puberty. You know, there are probably going to be some of them that just say stupid things in general because their
I
bodies are wanting to do something that just naturally, but at the same time, it would be heavily reduced compared to what we know it as now because
but
of the setting that they grew up in.
but I don't you have to write that in a more intelligent manner because the element of fear is a very powerful I
Oh yeah.
can't understate how powerful that is. And so you'd have moments where when things calm down, like, oh, okay, we finally been able to establish shelter. Maybe then, or
Yeah.
finally, I'm saying when you make
After they
when
finish
you
building the
achieve
wall
certain
and then close the
goals,
whole place.
then when things are like because like I also just think that it would be handled in a more mature manner because this is a post-apocalypse. This is
Hmm.
not a high school drama. So these hormones exist, but they are by nature of the setting, they will be tempered by force.
That's what I meant. Yeah, they wouldn't be
It's like put
out of
yourself in the
control like a high school kids would be because they don't have the same limitations put on them. Hell, most of them are extremely privileged in
like
most parts of the world now. It's
like
they could be that open with their sexuality and everything else like that nowadays is
okay, so
it is a luxury compared to this world.
this isn't a one-to-one parallel, but let's say that you had like a similar conflict when they're fighting the grounders. Like
Hmm.
let's try and compare that to the elements from the first World War where you had young people being sent into a conflict. There was
Hmm.
no time for hormones.
Yeah.
When you're trying to survive, when you're at any moment could be your last, you don't even think about that.
Yeah. Again, that falls down to part of the conditioning too. Because like I mean, like you even think about like what's the purpose behind like boot camp and everything else like that. It's like they break you down, they build you back up, you get inducted into this whole new culture.
Yeah, so I just can't
It
get
would be
past that.
very similar, and like that's part of the reason why they almost need like a season zero because like
Yeah.
we need to know what arc life was like
I
to
don't
better justify
You need
everything.
this.
I
You
don't
need to
think you can
set this.
excuse this
You need
behavior on
this.
their part. This is not like I said, this
Because
you
like
can't do that in this kind of series.
I know because it's like it's very confusing though because like you have on one hand they've established that the rules are extremely strict, right? But then on the other hand, they have enough free time to where they could watch an old football game.
They also have enough free
Ah, yeah.
time in
Mhm.
which they have enough free time in which to learn how to talk back and be snotty and obnoxious to people.
Mhm.
Like, no, these people would literally like kowtow to anyone who shows a modicum of leadership, and
Yeah,
anyone who was like rebellious or whatever died.
pretty much.
Or no, I guess the reasons that they are here is because they were rebellious, but still,
Well,
or they
that's the other
existed
issue that
like
we have too. We
Octavia.
have no idea what all these people did to get into prison. Because, like with Charlotte, for instance, they said the reason that she got locked up was because after they floated her parents, she tried to fight a guard. She's
Yeah,
13. Let's think
Like
about that.
I know it's like once again the whole premise is an issue because we need to preserve human life. Not like that.
Hmm.
yeah, and then also just Monty and Jasper getting in stuck into the thing because they were smoking weed or they
Yeah.
smoked too much weed and
Well, they
forgot to replace
stole.
it.
Yeah, exactly. They stole some and then forgot to replace it.
No, but it's almost like
As
they've
small as
never
weed.
it's almost like they've never heard of the premise of community service.
There should definitely be tiers.
Like you're telling me
Like,
Jasper is a like I won't say he's a natural talent, but he's quite talented in the field of chemistry. You're just gonna
hmm,
float that. You're just gonna send him to his death,
yeah,
Monty's
Monty.
obviously like very interested in like bioengineering and
yeah.
like
Which you will find out later.
plants and
He
farming
he
and
gets
stuff like
really good
that.
at that.
So are his parents, and yet they're totally fine with just if he was 1 year older, he would be dead.
Hmm.
I kind of feel like the society and the arc, if we're supposed to believe based on some snotty comments about let the privileged do the work, you think that people with so-called privilege skills would be, kept on the arc where they could make a difference for
No,
the
your position on the
privileged?
council matters more.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy, that's so stupid. Because that's the other thing too. It's like even the security guards are treated like lower than the ones that enforce the law. Because that's the only explanation that we could get for why Diana managed to get so many of them to follow her onto the Exodus ship.
That's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
So
they're
you even treat your own security team like shit.
like their understanding of how the world works is completely juvenile.
Yeah, it's the world building is so terrible in this show.
If you haven't
Oh,
guessed
it is-
already, by this point, anyone watching, the world building is the worst problem with this show.
oh god. Oh
Somehow
god.
the world building is worse than the characters.
Yeah, because there's
Plus
there's at
Loki's
least
game, 'cause
moments
at
with the
least Loki
characters.
tries to explain it.
There's at least moments with the characters though here that
I
like are semi decent. That they
I
completely contradict
I
anything else
agree.
that they
No,
do,
no.
but there's
If I can just address what you said, Jubilee, I think it's worse to if the explanation is bad, and what I've also learned from Oliver about the show, the explanations, and the same goes for Loki. The explanations are bad. That's worse than not explaining something.
I agree. I'm just saying. At least they explained it, because in this show they just half explain it with a throwaway line, and then just don't.
Oh, they do that in
go into
Loki all
anything.
They do that in Loki as well.
yeah.
Maybe I'm trying to rationalize
By the end of
this
series,
show
this
and
series will be
Loki
on
at
the
the same
level of
time.
Loki.
I would
I
say
would-
Now the more that I think
I would
about
say
it.
Loki is okay. I would say Loki's technically worse because it destroys like all of the things before it.
Oh yeah,
While the
Loki.
100 just has season 1.
No, Loki's a one.
Well, by the end of the
Yeah,
show, that
but-
you find out there's a fourth dimensional being, and that if you don't answer a question correctly about your race, your entire race gets turned to icicles, and they move on.
Wow.
Sounds
you
like a Star
wait?
Trek.
I'm sorry. I think I just went into a state of to a coma. Did you say that about the 100?
Yes.
Is that real?
So the
Yes.
100 has just been downgraded. Okay, I haven't seen that, so I'm not going to downgrade it. But like
that's
that
the
would
end of season 7.
that's down. Well, I think by the end of season 7, this show's probably a 1.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's like that's why like seasons 1 and 2, if you isolate those two into a bubble, they're probably the best of the entire show. And I would put those two at about a 3 or 4. From there, it just starts going downhill fast.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'm
agree.
by
I'm
the
at
end
a,
of
I'm at a
by the
3.
end of season 7, like Clark is the one that approaches them and being like, "We will do whatever it takes to protect our people." This, that, the other thing is like wrong answer, and then like they're about ready to start turning everybody into icicles, and then like out of nowhere they got a vision of
Icicles.
Octavia stopping a war.
Icicle.
And- Oh,
I can't take you that seriously.
well, think more like rock prisms.
Yeah, but for
crystallized
me, it's the same as you
figurines.
tell me, okay, now you will be all candy canes.
That's on the same level as like if you don't do it, if you step out of line, you'll be melted.
Yes.
Oh, it's bad. It's really, really bad. But yeah, like right before they're about to get like all turned into like these ice crystallized creature things that are just stuck forever in this state or something like that, Octavia runs out into a middle of the battlefield. It's like, why are you guys fighting? The whole purpose you guys are even here is to create peace. We need to stop fighting this, that, the other thing. And then like the creature changes his mind. And then the creature changes his mind. And it's like, you know what? Maybe there is a little bit of good and humanity left. And they take everybody off into this fourth dimension except for Clark.
Oh, good. I hate
Octavia saves humanity. Yay!
Yay.
It's so
Okay,
bad.
let's get back to season 1. But holy shit.
Yes.
Yeah,
Let's
oh,
stick,
Jesus,
well,
I completely
let's
forgot
stick
what we
with the
were doing.
good.
Oh,
The
Jesus.
good, in air quotes.
Oh,
My goodness. Wow.
That was a trip.
I need to amend my like beginning statement. I enjoyed seasons 1 and 2. Beyond that, I have issues.
Damn. Oh. There's your thumbnail, man. There's your
There we
thumbnail.
go. Yes, Mr. Newman, we are getting back to you.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Wow, we're making some progress.
For
Yeah, I know,
fun,
I know.
If you've ever been to high school, you know that there's gonna be drama. The reason to watch the 100 is the premise and the story. If you're not into those,
Well,
then
the
you'll-
premise.
The
That's
premise,
it.
yes.
That's the premise.
Yeah, that's it.
The
Even
premise is
if
like the most
in-
interesting hook from the get go.
After the first 3 minutes, you can just turn it off.
Yes. It's,
Yeah.
oh, imagine a better story. Anything that you imagine is probably better than the 100.
Can confirm.
We made 10 seconds.
will most likely hate the show. The writing is pretty shallow, and every conversation that takes place in a public place, like in their camp on Earth, quickly turns into like a motivational speech because apparently everyone is listening to all of the conversations taking place at the same time. Like 2 characters would be talking and then one of them will turn to everybody and say, "He's right! We should blah 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 blah." And I mean the reaction.
I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
No.
At least he identified that.
No, he's not wrong, but I just like to point out that he said the only reason to watch the show is the premise and the story, but then goes to say the writing is shallow.
Which is the
Yeah.
story.
I think he
So-
he makes the he's talking about the plot, not
Mhm.
the story itself.
Not
But-
the dialogue. Yeah,
Yes.
I think it seems like he's separating plot and dialogue here.
'Cause, I mean,
Yes,
he's
that's what I'm
right
saying.
that
He's talking about the plot. The
those things could be done a lot better, and the story would still be the same.
Mm.
It's just that they chose the really lazy option of just making it be like, he's right, blah 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 blah.
I will
Okay,
admit,
That made, me,
dialogue is
that
probably
made me
right.
crack up a bit.
correct me if I'm wrong, though. Is the story not how the plot unfolds?
yes,
Yeah.
but sometimes that scene
How it
involves
is.
dialogue and other things, circumstances. Let's say.
Yeah, I mean,
Getting-
depending on how far you want to
getting the
take it, the
story.
story could be, like what I think are the most three important things to storytelling: the world building, the character development, and the plot, all rolled up into one would be your story. So
Well, I'd
he
love to
seems to be
hear him.
segregate.
I'd love to hear him praise the dialogue.
I would
Here we
love
go.
to see what he has to say.
Yeah.
that I would expect is like, what the fuck is she talking about? But no, everyone is like, yeah! How do you know the context of what she said? As far as the acting goes, I mean, they do what they can with the material, but there isn't much there. You're not gonna be blown away by any of these performances. I felt like they could explore the psychology a bit further. These world-shattering decisions that these kids have to make every day, how does that affect them? And there are a lot of things that you're gonna have to look past. Like, what drives anyone to do anything, basically?
Yeah, pretty
What's
much.
the point?
this
He's literally
is right.
Like, Clark has no motivation
speaking
whatsoever other than her instinct is to look out for everyone else first, which we find out from her mother in the first 3 minutes of episode 1.
Yeah, like
Bellamy at least has the excuse his entire motivation should be that he's trying to protect Octavia, but he does nothing with that at all this entire season. Jasper and Monty, they're pretty much just out looking for the next high. Until, like, there's something that they could actually do to help. Anyways, who else is there? Octavia, she just wants to get laid. Don't care how she gets it. She's just gonna get, she's just going for it. Finn is desperate to be with Clark for some reason. Raven's just a bitch to everyone, and the only reason she seems to get any kind of motivation to do anything is because she knows it strokes her ego when people praise her.
Yeah, they're all terrible.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing is that like he's spitting facts, but
We need more. We need
But
more.
he recommends.
we need more, and he's also completely contradicted what he just said. That too, where he's just like, you should watch it for the story and the premise, but then he immediately goes and starts shitting on the story. So
I would say he hasn't. I'm not going to go so far and say he's recommended it. He's just giving off reasons why you should watch it.
Mhm.
At this point,
It's almost the same.
and then he's like further, like,
Yeah.
he's going on
One
to
way or
explain
another,
what it
he's telling
means.
you watch it.
Yeah, he's going on to explain what he
It's-
means.
I'm
I'm-
almost
I-
wondering what he thinks story is, because it's like based off of everything that we've gotten, primarily the character development. I mean, pretty sure he said world building is crap. The only thing that would be left would be watch these major events as things fly across the screen.
Yeah,
I think that's what he's boiling story down to. Specific, like, oh my god, they killed all these people. No context behind that. Just watch this event.
but this is why I'm saying like the premise alone is not enough to hold up the entire show because
Mhm.
like the characters' motivations are like a big part of the premise,
Yeah,
whether he
'Cause that's-
wants to get into it or not.
because as far as I could tell, only 3 people have motivations in the show. There's Bellamy with his, wanting to protect his sister, which again they do nothing with. Kane, his whole motivation is to preserve life at all cost, which they kind of do something with.
Yeah, he's
then Murphy-
preserving life at all costs by killing as many life as you can.
Murphy's actually probably got the most out of the 3 of them because he starts off just simply being like, I want to live, and that turns into I want revenge. They even show the context of why he wants his revenge.
Yeah, they actually build his character.
Yeah,
they-
so
they-
he's got the best character out of anybody, and I guarantee you that he's probably not going to say anything about Murphy. If he does, it's probably going to be negative. I honestly don't remember. but that's how most people view Murphy in season 1. I just
I
hate
know,
him. I
but
think he's an evil person.
that's why I'm like, people just aren't. I mean, I'm sorry if this sounds like mean, but like people just aren't thinking about it
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, I think what the deal is, especially with like TV shows nowadays, and I think this is the reason why people are trying to switch to like other platforms and stuff like that, is like they have to keep things moving at such a quick pace and leave at like such abrupt like cliffhangers or mini cliffhangers because they have to get through the ad breaks. They have to keep them their attention long enough and try to keep them from thinking long enough. They're like, oh, I have to wait, these 10 minutes through these stupid ads to see what happens next. So when you take that and then you amplify it by putting the whole thing on Netflix and you don't even have the ads anymore, it's just constant nonstop go 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 go.
No,
Good.
I don't think that's an excuse because there's a lot of things that still air and don't do that.
No, that includes the whole don't think about it.
Yeah, I'd like to point out that Daredevil was also released at the same time as the show. Just
Yeah, okay, but the difference being is
putting it
that
out
this
there.
originally aired on the CW. It was specifically tailored to being a TV show, not a Netflix show.
Well, I
A
mean, hell,
a
look
Netflix
at.
show is just a TV show and that's not on television.
Well, I mean, hell, look at Game of Thrones.
Okay.
Like,
That's also not
or
very comparable. It's on HBO, which is a paid subscription service.
oh, I
Yeah,
thought I
there's
thought
no
originally it
ad
was
breaks in
just
that.
it wasn't streaming. I thought it
No,
wasn't
there's no
streaming at
ad
first.
breaks in that. Yeah.
Never mind.
Those
Retract.
ad breaks make a huge difference because like they have to keep the pace up at all times.
But I agree with Gothic. That's not an excuse. You shouldn't be like
Yes.
thinking about the ad breaks while you're making the show. You should just make the show.
Oh yeah, no, I'm saying I guess what I'm trying to get at is like it seems like that's where their focus was. Like we have to keep everything moving at such a rapid pace to try to get people through the ad break so they keep watching the show
Yeah.
instead of thinking
Well,
we need to build everything up, because like it definitely comes across as like they're too scared to trust their audience to stay and to find out what's going on.
yeah, that's a terrible thing to do.
Yeah.
It's
Whereas with
a-
something like
very
Daredevil, which
hacky.
is done very well, they had the benefit of not even have to really worry about ads and stuff like that. So they gave them is like to say it's like that one less thing they have to worry about. It's like, okay, we could actually take our time with this. We don't
But
have
like
to rush through to make sure they get
I,
hooked to get through the next ad break.
I could still here's the thing though, like that the reason I brought it up also is because I there are moments at the end of scenes where you could cut to an ad, like an ad
Hmm.
break. There are specific moments where they're like, "All right, now we're cut now that scene's over and
Hmm.
you don't know what's about to happen to Daredevil, but we're cutting to the next scene." Because
Yeah.
that's part of that's part of the tension, and that's where you put the ad break, but it
Hmm.
doesn't break up the story. And I mean, I have an issue with ads breaking up my taking me out of a show.
Oh yeah.
It's why I drift now to the like the Netflix and the
The
HBOs and
streaming
all that, the
Nobody wants
streaming
services.
ads.
services.
When
Nobody
will
likes that.
TV?
Nobody
When
likes
will
ads.
regular TV understand that we don't want ads? We just want our show.
Oh, they understand it. They just need to make money. So
Yeah,
You just
exactly.
don't care.
they don't care, and they also
Don't
have
care.
they have like 3 generations propping them up, as well as
Mhm.
corporate overlords. Let's not get into that. But,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
Oh,
what
hey,
I
Jasper.
Society.
but hey, Jasper, yeah, let's get back to our friend
Hey, it's
here.
Jasper. Hey, it's Jasper.
Jeez, we only made it a minute.
I mean, hey, it's not too bad.
It's all
Last
right.
time we made it 10 seconds.
It's a 5-minute video. I'm sure we'll be done in the next 3 hours.
Yeah, probably. Maybe if we don't go on about world building again.
Yeah. Here we go.
Let's go.
Why are they listening to him? Why did he do that? Why didn't she just tell him about the thing? Why would they go there? And so on and so on. The interesting thing, the cool thing about the 100 is the story. The story does a good job at getting you hooked and making you want to watch the next episode. I can criticize
No, that's
No.
that's
No,
cliffhangers.
no.
No, that's not story.
It like
Eh.
repulses you with his story.
I really think what he's referring to there is like what I was talking about, the pace. It's nonstop.
It's the drama.
Yeah,
the
that's it.
drama. What happens next?
Exactly.
Who knows? Watch the next episode.
And I'll
Granted,
probably
we're going into this
honestly,
with the context of watching like 2 episodes per week.
yeah.
Yeah.
3 episodes last time. And we had time to think about it. With him, he watched it in
like
day.
what
one sitting.
a day,
Yeah,
one
he watched it
sitting.
all in a day.
So the Constant High probably was just like is probably more noticeable with the Constant High because
But
he was just like
I would be exhausted
I was,
trying
I
to
was about to
watch these
say
back to back to back. Like
I would be
I'd have to stop. I don't
I would
know
give
where
up
I'd
trying to
stop.
make I would give up trying to make sense of it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oof.
No, I wouldn't try and think about it, which is probably
No,
what they were going for.
This
yeah,
is like the
that's
kind of show that you
honestly, I
have
think
on
that's
in
what got
like the
me reeled in
background.
from the get go.
But I brought this up before with you all. Like this was made at a time where you only got to see one per week. So that's
Yeah.
so like it's like they made it for a streaming service, but they didn't release it on a streaming service.
No, it just shows you how okay, like the other thing too is like this came out in 2014 and everything else like that. It's like people weren't real like this is you gotta think this is the same time when people are still praising like the Flash, the Arrowverse, because I think those came out either shortly before or after this started. I can't remember. Um, but it was pretty much like people just didn't really think that hard about it. Like even Mahler wasn't even thinking that hard about a lot of the media he consumed.
Well, I
Not to
mean,
not to the degree that like the Last Jedi did, and like now he's on a whole new standard compared to where he was before the Last Jedi.
I
I
mean,
mean, yeah, I would agree. It's like one of those things that you have to notice,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
most people don't notice it. But
yeah.
it's
Like
kind of like, where's your threshold at?
to be
Like,
yeah,
fair
how
to
batshit and crazy does a
and
show have to
most
be in order to be
your average
bad?
viewer does not like look at the story like the way that we do
I was gonna
or
say
that
though,
we now do.
I would say to be fair to Mahler here, I think that was strictly in regards to Star Wars because he made a
Yeah.
16-hour series on Dark Souls 2.
Yeah,
He also made a
pretty
lot
somewhat.
of content on Amnesia and Soma, even on the game that is like Banjo Kazooie but new. I don't remember the
Oh, you're
name.
talking about a ukulele.
Ukulele, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because like, but it's like even then is like you saw like how like the majority of people that viewed that game, they're like thought it was just a cheap knockoff and it was a terrible game. Like
Yeah, but
that is the primary viewing audience, is what I'm
I
trying to
know.
get at.
I was just. I guess we don't need to spend
he
any
was
time on that.
already
But
thinking about those things.
he was already
Yeah,
thinking critically
he was
the same
thinking
way he
he
did.
was thinking more
Guys,
critically.
who cares about Mueller? The 100 is out.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
you're
The
right.
point being is like he was already thinking more critically of a lot of the things compared to like the average viewer. And like I think it got taken to an nth degree above that after The Last Jedi came out is what my main point was there. But like
Sure.
he's kind of like more or less the rare breed, I think.
Well, he's
He's
mentioned that
honestly
he enjoys reading like books and all of that. So, he probably had like more of like a storytelling perspective of a book reader rather than a movie watcher. Where since, books are usually much more slower and methodical and generally more thought out, he could kind of take that like standard and then apply it to cinema a lot easier than
um
most people. And then again, Harry Potter fans exist, so
yeah, it's
who cares?
really don't want to assume anything specific other than like he's just been more critical of stories overall. I don't really
I
know
don't
where
know.
the start of that came from or anything like that.
I'll just ask him. I'll just call him right now.
That'd
All
be
right,
nice.
hold on. Let's just get him in here. 1 sec.
Yeah. A guest starring Mahler, by the way, guys, ladies and
Yeah,
gentlemen.
with our one viewer.
With our one viewer, yes.
Well,
Man.
Let's shall we get back to this? He's almost
yeah,
done.
we need to get back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
The acting and the writing, all I want. But when it came down to it and an episode ended and Netflix was going to play the next episode, I did not stop it at all because I watched all of it
Oh.
in a single day. Bottom
Yeah,
line, should you watch
don't
it?
say.
Yes, if only just to surprise you with some dark
There.
moments. If you don't
Yeah.
mind
There you
the
go.
teen drama aspect of things, which I personally
I was
love,
right.
that was exactly the reason
Moments.
I enjoyed watching the show take like
Wait, he just said he hated the drama elements.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
I know.
also
I
said-
completely
he, also,
forgot-
he was also making the fun of the whole dark elements thing, where it's like, oh, it's dark, it's
I just
edgy,
want
it's gritty, it's
I
edgy.
apologize. I want to hear his full statement again. Because
Alright.
he said why he recommends it, and then he's like, but if you don't like the teen drama, which I didn't, then, and then we paused.
Yeah.
Okay.
episode, I did not stop it at all because I watched all of it in a single day. Bottom line, should you watch it? Yes, if only just to let it surprise you with some dark moments. If you don't mind the whole teen drama aspect of things, which I personally hate, but that was exactly the reason I enjoyed watching the show take like the teen drama stuff and put it in like, no, God, no, no! And you're not looking for a breathtaking performance, you're looking for a cool story and an easy, fast-paced watch you can just kind of tear through. And there definitely are moments in the show where you'll be like, oh shit. All in all, it's a fun, if a bit shallow ride.
This is
Season 2
this is a condemnation.
Oh
If
boy.
it's saying,
How does he
if
not
it's a
realize he condemned the show with
if
this?
he's
Oh.
saying the show is easy to watch and easy to tear through and something you can just turn on and have fun with,
But it's also extremely shallow.
and also
Yeah.
extremely shallow, but
Full of
also
teen
has a ton
drama.
of teen drama, which he hates, but he keeps on they put it on, so
Because
This
they
is-
threw it in a blender.
This is an issue.
Yeah.
He mixed words because if he had just ignored half of that, if he had just said, "Oh, you know, this is just something that you can turn on, and if you enjoy a good premise, some dark moments, you can easily get through it. It's fun." Then I recommend the show.
Like if he just said that, this would be fine. This
But
would
he's
be
mixing
like,
it up
okay.
with like, oh, but there was also this thing that I hated. But if you know if you can just ignore that,
It's
He's like
definitely coming across
hesitant
as
to
like he
praise the
doesn't.
show.
It's almost like he's coming across as like he doesn't want to promote or demote it.
Shit on
You know what I
it.
mean?
yeah, because
He
He's
doesn't
like
want shit on
he's
it.
almost
di-
like it comes across almost like he's scared to tell his audience to
yeah, he's on the fence because
do not watch this
he
or
didn't
do
sound
watch this.
he didn't sound serious when he's like, if you want some dark moments, it's like,
Yeah, he was
so
joking about that like
that
3
sounds like a
sentences
joke.
ago.
Yeah, a little bit.
The thing,
So
another thing that was bothering me is that he said that like every time Netflix would show up and say, "Should I stop watching?" I didn't ever because I watched it in one day, and I'm like,
You're called binge
that's not a benefit to the show. Your thing is that you watch it in one day.
Yeah,
That's not a benefit towards the show. That's just you doing your job.
that's your name.
And it's the
Yes.
premise.
well,
of
he
your
didn't. He
character.
I mean, he could have made that. He could have integrated that in a better way by saying like, you know, I know my thing is to binge watch, but while I was watching this show, I was so engaged that I just needed to see what happened next. But he didn't say
like
that.
this.
I
The
mean-
script needed to be peer reviewed. That's
that's
assuming he has
pretty much what you
people
said is
that-
what I felt like about the show, but it was again not really thinking about the context of what they were telling me at all. I was like, oh, I gotta know what happens next.
I mean, like
Now a year later,
at least this video was. At least this video was like. I mean, there's still more to it, but at least this video is substantive. At least he's saying stuff.
there is a couple of good a couple of good pieces in here, but it's like he still needs to flesh them out more. He needs to be like, what do I mean by this? Then yada yada yada.
This
Yeah,
video was
overall,
extended
overall
out to
he's
like 10
recommending the
minutes.
story, so the fuck.
I know he's recommending the story. What?
Even though it's full of teen drama, which he hates.
Yeah,
I know
I guess his point being is like if you love teen dramas, you're gonna like this show.
I wonder
but-
what his review on Riverdale is.
But I want to know why he recommends it,
Okay,
not
what do
why.
you think of Riverdale?
Like,
I gotta.
I haven't seen it because it's a teen drama and I hate those.
Oh my god.
Yes.
But I watched the 100.
All I've heard was tales about Riverdale and how weird it gets.
It gets really weird. I stopped watching after they had like weird demon game controller guy come in.
What?
And play.
Yeah, it gets. It goes
And then you find out
Okay.
that you find
Don't
out
worry,
it's just a
just
costume.
Don't
worry,
worry.
it's a character.
Don't worry. Yes, sure.
Don't
yes.
worry, it's just a teen drama.
Don't worry. It's fine. It's fine.
I mean, it's not
That
as bad
Don't
as
see
that
that.
was like the end of season
Fight God.
3, I think.
Ugh.
And then after season 3, it just gets really, really bad.
Then there's just like a lot of sex in that one.
Oh yeah, there is. There's tons
But
of
it's like they're all underage, so it's really weird, or implied to be underage. So it's
Yeah, I think because they're all like I think when the first season starts, they're like sophomores.
yeah, it's really uncomfortable to
I,
watch.
I don't
hated
I
it.
don't understand Hollywood's lack of self awareness, but they're like, but the actors are all in their mid to late 20s, so it's fine.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. There's still children in the show.
Well, that falls
Chokes
into like, do
you.
you really think that high school kids are not?
If
That's
you
that's besides the point that I'm making though.
uh,
It's more like the acceptability of like, well, let's just make our show have Game of Thrones like, well, I don't know what the nudity is like in that. I guess that would
no,
be
it's
a
There's
like the
not.
same as the
determining factor.
100. It's just the
Not what
same
you
as the
saw like with
100.
the
It's
100.
like
Yeah, you don't
it's just
actually
like,
No,
see
oh,
it.
they're just grinding against each other in
I
clothes.
I guess that's fine.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
still
I don't it's not
Or
uncomfortable if
like
you think about
you'll
it.
see that they'll get like naked, but it's like in a way to where you can't see anything important.
It's like their back or something, or they're like kissing. It's like a close up to like their faces or something like
Yeah.
that, like stuff like that.
All right. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, and then yeah, let's just finish. I want to see if he says anything else.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're almost there. We got 40 seconds left.
He's gonna do his
Yeah.
outro. We have 10
He's probably going to
seconds.
do like an outro,
Yeah.
or if he has like a sponsor, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, here we go.
Not yet available on Netflix, but once it will be, I do plan on watching it. I did hear it's much better. So have you watched or are you watching The 100? I'd love to know what you thought about it. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're finding binge
Okay.
watchers for the first time,
yeah,
welcome.
he is-
We talk about TV every
Is binge watching bad? Is binge watching bad? Now I
Wait,
want to see
I
that.
kind of want to watch that video.
I kind of want to see what is
That
binge
sounds
watching.
yeah. That
Okay,
sounds
you're gonna
more
have to.
interesting.
You're gonna have to save that for like another time because this is a chonker. But I would want to watch that video to see what he has to say about binge
Well,
watching.
I
We
mean,
may
He's
need to
obviously
do that
he's
another
obviously gonna
time.
say it's good because it's still a thing.
Well, he may
But-
also say too, he's like yes and no, because like on one hand it's like nonstop action, but on the other hand you miss a lot of details.
I mean,
I bet that's what he's gonna say.
I'm fine with like ending the recording here if you guys want to watch that. We don't have to include it in this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, well,
Oh yes,
I
our dear
mean,
friend Guardian Falco also says that he thinks the 100 sucks. Just wanted to put that in there, so then
at least we
Um,
got
we can have the
his
fan
view,
favorite.
but-
I would not think that most of this is going to make it into the video. We're almost at the 3 hour mark.
We're at the
Yeah.
3 hour mark. This is the part where you start cutting. All right, editor, cut right here and uncut right here. Bananas, and then cut here. There, just have like a random sound clip of me saying bananas. There you go.
Insert fine.
Hey, editor, could you put a hamburger on screen right now? Thank you. Then like slowly eat the hamburger throughout the video, and then
Oh, just
That,
do the
that
slow
reminds
stun on
me
flying
of
towards the
Game
screen
Grumps
from
when they
Zack
did that.
Snyder's cut.
We're just them torturing their editors. Yeah.
Oh boy.
All right.
Anyways, do you guys want to say anything about your channels individually, or you just want to end the video here?
Yeah, guys, talk about your lively YouTube channels.
My lively
Well,
YouTube
there
channels,
may or
all
may not
0
be a-
videos on them.
Well, there may or may
Yes,
not be a chance that I just upload the whole thing separately.
Yeah.
all my zero indie games I will publish them now.
I might make videos at some point in history when I'm done with school, but when in the meantime I stream at twitch.tv/Jubilee
There you go.
Yeah,
on Wednesdays.
You recently played Doom, right?
I recently played Doom. I recently played Doom. It was my first stream over there in a long while.
There you
And
go.
I had a great time. I played Doom and then for exactly 1 second, and then I played Fallout New Vegas for the rest of that stream. I might play Doom. I might play Doom instead someday. So
There
be
you
there.
go. Well,
Whoa.
if things go the way I think I might do them, by this point I might have 2 videos on my channel by then.
Yeah.
I've currently got 2 videos in the works right now, and this will definitely be reference material for at least one of those videos. Actually, it could even potentially work in both of them. It all just depends on what I need out of this video. But I don't know. I may re-upload this one in its entirety at the end after I get those two videos out. We'll see how things go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I working on a script for a really bad movie that Disney shat onto Disney Plus. It's called Artemis Fowl. Don't watch it. I also
Watch his
uh
video instead. Watch his video instead.
yeah, when
When it
that
comes
gets
out.
made in 2030. Anyway,
I know, right?
also
8 years.
check out. I make memes and videos. Check them out because
Cool, yeah.
they're definitely worth your time. Unlike
They are
certain
funny.
pieces of media. Thank you.
Everyone go like uh gu- guys, whatever you do, don't like the Treasure Planet video, okay?
Oh,
We need to we need to
oh.
we need to bury that. No, don't you like it? I see you. Oh, he liked it. Damn it. There he goes. Gosh darn
That could
it.
be really good at it.
Yeah, see, you're welcome.
Just imagine in this mouse hand dragging around the screen and
Oh,
it's like
don't you
dancing
do
around
it.
the like
Don't you
button.
do No, don't you do it. Oh shit, he did it. Oh man. Damn it.
Well,
All right,
editor.
I think we should call it there.
Alrighty, I'll end it right
Editor, end the clip right
now.
now.
Bye.
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 Bye.